Open All Mics. Choose BBC Radio Scotland on BBC Sounds and 92 to 95 FM.
Oh, what a goal!
All the action.
What a moment!
From all the biggest games.
This is Sports Sound.
Oh, it's a goal!
From BBC Radio Scotland.
Another goal!
Welcome to Open All Mics on BBC Radio Scotland. All the goal news from right across the country between now and around 5 o'clock. After 5 o'clock, we'll get reaction from the grounds. We'll hear from the manager, some big games this afternoon, and we'll build up that huge game at Tannadice this evening. Jim Goodwin's, I can't believe I'm saying this, first game in charge of Dundee United this evening. We will bring you full commentary of that one, so stay tuned, stay with BBC Radio Scotland right throughout the afternoon and the early evening. Let's then get round our championship matches, 4 taking place this afternoon. Chick Young is watching Queen's Park against Morton. Sure to be an emotional day there, Chick. We heard from Scott Gardner, he's down at Somerset Park today. He wanted to pay his respects to the family of Alan McGraw, who passed away this week, a man that you knew very well.
Yeah, Kenny, timing's perfect because we've just started a minute's applause here at Ockleview, Queen's Park against Morton. I have no shame in talking over that to pay tribute to a man who I knew going on 60 years, you know, since he first made his impact in Scottish football. Record goal scorer at Morton, a goal machine. He was their Roy of the Rovers, and the original Mr. Morton, Hal Stewart, took him there. He moved on to Hibernian, and he was a legend on and off the park. Excellent human being, and the last time I saw Alan was a week ago at Capello, where his beloved Morton came from behind against Cove, and he was walking out the ground smiling. I didn't know I would never see him again, and I've reflected all week on what a human being he was. He was a joy to be with. He had a great impish sense of fun. I remember one great story, a million stories come into your head, but let me share one with you. I remember just after he lost his wife and his first Christmas alone in the house, and John McMaster, who knew very well, phoned him up, and Alan told me this story, remember, and John said, he said, what are you going to do for Christmas Day? You'll be all alone. And Alan said, I think I'll go down and get a wee sausage roll and a leg of chicken and all that. And McMaster responded, he said, hey you, don't you be alone on Christmas Day. Don't you think you're just going to live in sausage rolls and a wee chicken leg. He says, you know what you do? And Alan thought, he's going to invite me to his for Christmas dinner. And John says, you get yourself a right good Chinese and enjoy yourself. Don't starve on Christmas Day. So the kind of man Brilliant. Who could tell me that story with it. The first Mr. Morton was Hal Stewart. Then it became Alan McGraw, and now we're left with the great Andy Ritchie. It's a succession of legends there. I'll remember him with a smile on the face. He was a joyous human being. He was happy to be with. And maybe the biggest tribute, Kenny, would be if Morton could win promotion back to the Premier League. He was the salvation of that club as a player and a manager, and it was the biggest tribute of all. First of all, a victory for Morton today in front of a huge crowd, incidentally, at Ockleview. We're under starters' orders, and the Morton players just have finished, and it fair play to the Queen's Park fans. Thunderous applause for the memory of a great human being.
Very nice
and
words.
We've got to be minutes behind. Yeah. We've got to be minutes behind, Kenny. There's a flare. There's a brilliant minute silence, impeccable minute silence, and then a flare comes onto the pitch. So we're having to wait again. Nonsense. Who brings this nonsense to football matches?
Incredible. Seen the scenes last week in the cup final.
Start.
I mean, the scenes in the cup final last weekend, Alan. How on earth people get these into the grounds? I don't know.
That's crazy. Wally takes flares, but he's wearing them.
Well, they will be at Tannadice this evening, 6 o'clock.
He'll be driving down.
He'll be listening. Don't worry about that. Don't worry.
I've got to get as many in as I can.
Big game this evening. Dundee United against Aberdeen. Full coverage on Sports House. The Chicks across the game. Queen's Park against Morton. Cove Rangers are home to Dundee this afternoon. Tyrone Smith is here for us.
Yeah, Kenny, a huge game this one, isn't it? Cove, Dundee, including this afternoon's game. They've 10 matches left of the regulation championship season, so time and games are running out for the two teams as they look to achieve their objectives for the campaign. For Cove, well, it's all about second-tier survival, isn't it? They're embroiled in a real dogfight at the bottom of the table. So to put it simply, they need wins, something that they've found very hard to come by in recent weeks. As for Dundee, well, they're, of course, battling for the title, but they've really picked the wrong time of the season to have a wobble. They've only managed to muster a point in the last 3 games, and well, they're still healthily placed in second spot in the table. They're now 4 points behind leaders Queen's Park. So when you put all of that little lot together, Kenny, you start to see the importance of today's encounter. 3 minutes gone here at the Memorial Stadium, but it's Cove Rangers 0, Dundee 0.
Big shock in the cards in the early stages down in England. Arsenal 0, Bournemouth 1. Philip Billing with a goal there in the first minute. Earlier today in the lunchtime kick-off, Manchester City beat Newcastle United by 2 goals to 0. We heard from Scott Gardner. He's at Somerset Park this afternoon, as is Derek Ferguson. Good afternoon to you, Derek. Ayr United against Inverness Cally Thistle.
Yeah, well underway, and Inverness went close just a moment ago. It was Billy Mackay just picking the ball up 25 yards out, and what a strike it was. It just went over the bar, just a yard or two. Good start, good positive start, and Ayr United, you know, they'll be looking to get themselves back in track. They've not won, well, they've not scored in the last 3 games, and you look at, you know, Inverness Cally Thistle, you know, had a good chat with Scott Gardner, a little bit frustrated. They've had a lot of injuries, you know, I didn't realise that, you know, and you know, they're languishing down in 7th position. The last time that they won was against Arbroath 4-1, so they've got a lot of players back, a little bit more confidence, I think, within that squad. So hoping we're going to have a crack up. That's a cowboy there. On you go, cowboy.
Really good chance for Livingston. Lovely run by Devlin. He comes in, takes the touch. I guess a toe poke to it looks like, and it's a block away for a corner to Livingston.
Yeah, that reference is it's in reference to Alan going to a party
I've seen
week.
some of the outfits.
A fancy
Some of the
dress.
outfits were brilliant.
Alan was in a cowboy outfit. We didn't get any pictures, unfortunately. First goal of the day, actually first couple of goals of the day in Scotland. Stirling Albion 1, Albion Rovers 0. Danny Denholm on 5 minutes. Montrose 1, Clyde 0. Liam Scullion on 5, and another goal in England. Aston Villa 0, Crystal Palace 1. Wilfred Zaha on 5 minutes. Chance there.
Well, that Bournemouth goal against Arsenal, 9 seconds.
Is that what it was?
How could you score a goal in 9 seconds from the kick-off?
That is
Maybe
incredible.
It's from kick-off.
Maybe he's launched
the passes
it.
and
The
then
goalkeeper's
launched
had a bit of a walkabout.
Partick Thistle at home to Wraith Rovers this afternoon. Gavin Wallace is here for us. Good afternoon, Gavin.
Afternoon, Kenny. Yeah, obviously Chris Dillon has just been announced this week as the permanent Partick Thistle manager, and really, to be fair, he's come in and get 7 out of 9 points. Tricky away games. I was speaking to Chris before the game, Kenny, and he was telling me that he's continuing his same coaching philosophy that he had when he was with the 18s not too long ago. Obviously Paul McDonald is still there as his interim assistant boss as well. Well, the search continues for that, and they're off to a pretty sprightly start.
Goal for Rangers! Really well worked corner. Barisic plays it short, knocks it back, the shot comes in, it's well saved from the goalkeeper Sam Walker, and Connor Goldson's on hand to tap home. Rangers haven't started particularly well. The fans made their feelings known with a banner saying after 55 titles you took your eye off the ball, it's time for change. However, Rangers are 1 up. Connor Goldson with a tap in. Rangers 1, Kilmarnock 0.
Goals are flying in. Athletic 1, Stennismuir 0. Tommy Goss on 4 minutes. So Rangers opening the scoring there. It's going to be a long afternoon, you feel, for Derek McInnes and his Kilmarnock side. You're underway, Michael Stewart at Tynecastle.
Yeah, underway, and there was a couple of minutes ago a pretty well worked move from Hearts that saw Josh Ginnelly getting in behind the St Johnstone defence. He was one-on-one with the goalkeeper, but he took a heavy touch and it went out for a by kick. Hearts have started pretty brightly. They're knocking the ball about well, and you know, for St Johnstone just trying to feel their way into the game, they're pressurising Hearts, but they've found a little rhythm here. Obviously only 6 minutes gone, but Robbie Nielsen will be happy with how they've started the game so far after what was a terrible performance and result at Fir Park.
A delayed start for you there, Alan Prest, underway at Ammanvale.
There we are, and that Devlin effort was way away for a corner, and then Montano had a hitch kick just wide of the target. You know, decent start by Livingston. Newblay's causing a bit of concern again for Hanlon, as he did in the fixture here earlier on in the season. But you know, Hibs are on a good run of form, 6 unbeaten in the league. Livingston coming as 3 defeats in a row for them, so something I'll have to give for this battle for the top 6 in European places.
Ross
Kenny,
County, yeah. Oh, you go
No,
check.
I'm just going to say, Biscuit was looking for a good example of a cowboy outfit for last week. I said, how about Hearts under Vladimir Romanov?
Very good. You're a week late because Tam Cowan said the same thing a week ago.
What do you think writes his scripts?
Stennismuir have equalised away at Annan. Nat Wedderburn with a goal there on 6 minutes, one apiece in that game. John Robertson, Ross County, very, very good last weekend, albeit against a really poor Dundee United side. How have they started this afternoon?
Yeah, both teams have started well. It's a very entertaining game. The first 30 seconds, Eamon Brophy raced away down the right-hand side, which cross was just too far ahead of Jordan White. 2 minutes later, Danda had a volley from a long throw-in. Oh, just shot from Brophy, well just saved there. Danda's volley was straight at Kelly, and then down the other end, Motherwell should have scored, crossing from the left. From McGinn was a free header for Obika, 6 yards out. He failed to hit the target. As you just joined us there in the 9th minute, Brophy again, who's looking really lively, cut in, and Kelly did well to get down and save his shot. Still 0-0, but very, very lively.
Usually a
Really
good game.
here.
Yeah, I was just going to come to you. That's a big game today.
Yeah, huge game, big crowd as well. Listen, great quality of football so far. Remember, Morton have got a game in hand. If they win this today and they win the game in hand, they will be within a point of Queen's Park at the top. But they've just had one cleared off the line. Liam Grimshaw, corner from on the left-hand side from Calvin Miller was whipped in, and he got it off, not Calvin Miller, from the left-hand side from Dom Thomas, and Grimshaw got the header off the line away, and before that a chance at the other end for Ali Crawford. Good quality players in show here. You know, I have to say that Dom Thomas for me is such a talented young player. I've watched a few clubs, still got a magic touch and quality on both sides. This is going to be a smashing game, but already is. It's still 0-0.
East Fife 0, Forfar 1. Finn Robson with the opener there on 10 minutes. Leanne, just watching the early action coming into the studio, just looking at the pictures there from Ibrox. Rangers, as you'd expect, dominant there.
Yeah, they've got a quick start. I do think defensively Kilmarnock will be frustrated with the goal that they've conceded off the set piece. I think they switch off. Alan Power made a couple of good blocks off of Cantwell, and eventually it did find its way to Goldson at the back post, as Rory said, just did a tap in. So it's a sore one to take, but I've got my in that Ross County Motherwell game as well, and it's going end to end. I know John just mentioned the shot from Brophy, some good play up the other end off Van Veen. Nice link-up play that resulted in a corner, and it's a huge game today. You know, and Stuart Kettlewell, he said a brilliant start at Motherwell with the results that he's had. We've spoke about that performance as well against Hearts at Fir Park. I don't think anybody would have seen that coming. He remains unbeaten, but to go to Dingwall is a tough place to go at best, and especially off the back of that County performance last week, they'll be oozing with confidence.
John, of the four sides at the bottom, do you think County have got the best options up top? I mean, Jordan White, a very much established top flight player. Eamon Brophy's got undoubted quality. We saw that last weekend. United fans have been in touch, say they've really only got Stephen Fletcher up top. Kilmarnock look a bit lightweight, John.
I think if you look at the four teams down there, you know, Fletcher, as you say, the only one really stand out. Middleton to a lesser degree up front for United. Certainly both teams today, you look at County as the ball just comes in. County have obviously got Brophy's been a revelation. He's really lively. He's given much needed support to Jordan White, who always does well. But Van Veen and Obika at the other end look lively as well. They look decent. So you wouldn't say in terms of striking options there's much between these two sides.
Goal! What a goal that is from Joe Newbley. He's done it again. It's just a diagonal from left back from Montagno onto Newbley. He takes it down. He goes round Cabrera as if he's not there, and then smashes it in off the underside of the bar. Livingston 1, Hibernian 0. Newbley.
Rangers claiming for a handball here, Leanne. For me, it didn't look a handball. It would be quite harsh. Raskin nicks the ball in the middle of the field, drives forward and has a shot at goal. And I think it's Ash Taylor who goes to the ground. I think it strikes his body, but...
Yeah, I think it is. I'll hopefully get a better replay. I've just seen it in real time there, Rory. I know we're a couple of seconds behind, and as he goes to ground, it does look as if his arm's in by the body. But if we get a replay, it might look slightly different. I'll keep an eye on it. Just looking at this goal now, Alan. Newbley receiving it. I think it's a bit of time, doesn't he, get out his feet? He does really well, though. For the size of him, that's what really impresses me.
Chance, goal! Goal for Ayr United. Akinyemi Well, he's back. It was brilliant play from Mackenzie, just busting forward, little way off to a corner, and then he just squared it. And then there's Akinyemi, just 6 yards out, couldn't miss, just slams it into the back of the net. United 1, Inverness, Cali, and Thistle 0.
Yeah, a player that's been spoken about a lot in terms of getting a move up the leagues. Joel Newbley, Michael, on target again for Livingston. You've spoken about him a lot in this programme. You've been surprised one of the bigger clubs hadn't come in for him.
Yeah, but apparently they want 3 million from us, you know.
Hi, Davy Martindale was pretty angry that day when it was put to him. What did you say, 100, 150,000, something like you said? I can't remember.
But I have no idea. But to be perfectly honest, yeah, I don't see how a figure like that wouldn't start discussions. I mean, look, for me, you know, you're talking about him scoring there against Hibs. He's not going to be somebody that's going to grab you a number of goals like Lawrence Shankland at Hearts, but I think everybody recognises how much more he brings to the game and the trouble and the damage he causes to the opposition. So, yeah, I think it's a surprise for me that it's not been, you know, spoken about a little bit more often with regards to other clubs looking at him in this country.
Rory, just having a look at that penalty claim at Ibrox, it came off the arm that was supporting the body of Ash Taylor, so no penalty.
Good stuff. I didn't think it was in first unit.
Yeah, Rangers in front there through Connor Goldson with a goal. The early goal on 6 minutes. Newbley has Livingston ahead, that goal on 9 minutes. And Derek brought us the first goal from the Championship. Deepa Akinyemi with the opener for Ayr United, and the 12th minute, Ayr United 1, Inverness, Cali, Thistle 0. Just check out any more goals around the country. Now that's you right up to date with all the goal news. I'll just go through the early goals that we brought you. In League 1, Montrose 1, Clyde 0. In League 2, Annan 1, Stenhousemuir 1, East Fife 0, Forfar 1, Stirling Albion 1, Albion Rovers 0. And a reminder of the goal news from England. Manchester City beat Newcastle United 2-0 in the lunchtime kick-off. Bournemouth 1-0 up. Tom, I think you said, what, 9 seconds? That opener for Bournemouth away at Arsenal. And the Crystal Palace goal against Aston Villa, that's been ruled out through VAR, so that one remains goalless this afternoon. That's you right up to date with all the scores on Sports Sound.
Yeah, you know, it's a kind of a slow burner here, isn't it? They're just looking at the Rangers goal, you know. I mean, Kilmarnock, that's the 30th goal they've conceded away from home. It's 14 games in the league.
Score. Bashing Sakalai's movement's brilliant. Ben Davis finds him with a raking diagonal. He takes a wonderful first touch. He squares Sam Walker up, cutting it from the angle. For me, he should possibly take it with his left and slide it in the corner.
He's got to square it.
Oh, I don't know. Do you think so? I'm not squaring that.
Oh, I'm telling you. He's get it's a tight angle. It's a lovely ball over the top. It really is. I'll see it again. Maybe I'm being harsh on him, Rory, but I think you square it and your teammates get a tap into an empty net.
Either way, it's got to be a goal, Leanne.
I think off the back of his decision making last week, it was not a similar type, but he hits the side netting last week in the final. I think he can square it again and put it into that zone. It's just getting a replay again just now. Nah, he's got to square it. He's got to square it. It's too much pressure on him to get the shot off.
This is going to be a long day for Kilmarnock.
Do you fear for them, Tom? You know, the squad that he's got there, Derek McInnes, he's in 11th spot at the moment, doesn't have too many options up top. Their away record is dreadful.
It's awful. Obviously, haven't won again. The away record, Derek McInnes spoke about it during the week. It's appalling. As I said, that's the 30th goal in the league they've conceded away from home. They conceded an average of over 2 a game in the league away from home. If that continues, they're in mortal danger. The only thing that they have in their favour is that Dundee United are a little bit worse. But Rangers could be 3-0 up already. This is going to be a brutal day, I think, for
Kilmarnock. The thing is, as well, Rangers started a little bit tentatively, and the best thing they needed was that goal. And I say tentatively, the first 5 minutes or so, they gave the ball away a few times, but since the goal, they've looked really good. Raskin has been a little bit loose in possession at times. He's actually given away his second foul of the day so far. Oh no, Willie Collum's not given it. It's a clear foul for me. It wasn't given, I don't know. But he's been the driving force in midfield. He's tenacious, he gets around, he steals the ball back, and he looks a good player so far. Cantwell's just in the periphery again, similar to how he's played a lot of his games so far. But Rangers now in control.
The Newbley goal was lovely.
Yeah,
you could fall. It was a bit old-fashioned. You know, I mean, lovely bit of footwork, bit of deception. The defenders bought the dummies all day long, but then he just said, right, I'm just going to thump this as hard as I possibly can. And wow, he caught it sweet.
I think because his footwork is so good though, Tom, as well. Cabrera almost stays a yard off him. He doesn't want to engage because he knows how his feet work, but you give him that yard and he does move it, he shifts it.
He's missed that again. That's a sitter for Sakala. Wonderful play down the left-hand side by Ryan Kent and Cholak. This time a little 1-2. Kent does what you were asking for and flashes it across the face, Leanne. And how Sakala misses, I'll never know.
Yeah, he dives in. A good bit of play from Kent down the left-hand side. It's the type of play that you would love to see Ryan Kent do a bit more of when he has that belief and he puts it into such a dangerous area. It's impossible to defend. It's too far for the goalkeeper to come and claim it. Sakala's got to score. You're spot on, Rory.
I've changed my mind, Rory. Sakala can go as well.
He's so unpredictable though, Derek, isn't he?
But he's got that pace. And that well, you're talking about that unpredictability. You know, going forward, you just don't know. It must be hard for the defenders as well. But it's pace. You need pace at the top end. But yeah, finishing wise, he's the quality.
I don't think, Derek. I think Michael Beale must have worked with him because, you know, I don't mean this offensively, but I don't think he's the most intelligent football player in the world.
Well, I totally get what you're saying.
His movement from outside to inside on those diagonals, Goldton's picked him out a few times. It's clear what Michael Beale's doing, giving him a little bit more freedom, but obviously been working with him because his movement is a lot more intelligent than I've seen so far.
It's interesting what you're saying there, Rory, because that's what Celtic didn't allow last week. Diagonals. You know, they stopped that happening at source. You know, and already you're hearing you're describing a couple of diagonals and, you know, Rangers are getting in. Celtic didn't allow that last week.
Yeah.
Brighton have gone 1-0 up at home to West Ham. Alexis McAllister on 18 minutes. John Robertson, great to see Stuart Kettlewell back in the game. He's spoken so well in recent weeks.
Yeah, and he'll be enjoying this. As Leanne said, it's a lively game. They're going from end to end. I think Don Robertson's incurred the wrath of both sets of fans for not booking players for a change. The keeper came out, tried to launch a quick one, and McGinn knocked him over. It's a yellow card all day long. He didn't give it. He has a word with him.
Goal!
And then seconds later, the same again.
It's a big goal for Queen's Park, and it's Tommy Robson outside the box, left side, puts on his left foot, drives it low beyond Schwalk. It is Queen's Park 1, Morton 0.
It's equaliser. It's Sean Welsh, the man with the new hairdo. I'm led to believe it cost him $4,000 in Turkey. Well, I tell you what, he just scalped one in from 6 yards out. I tell you what, it's a ball in it.
He's had it for years, Fergs.
Fergie, you're miles behind, son. That's 2 years ago. Haven't James Keane's got a 2-for-1 in Turkey?
Do you know something? Because Scott was saying to me, he told me what it cost him. I'll not reveal that. I went, I could get that cheaper than that.
Would you fancy it? Would you get one, Derek?
No, can we go? I'm too old. No chance.
I might go for that.
You're a lost cause.
Fergie, we'll go for a bog off. Buy one, get one free.
I'll just go for a holiday. I'm no bothered. Hair's overrated in my life.
Correct. 100%. I tell everybody that. Moss doesn't grow on a busy road.
So Sean Welsh with that equaliser there for Inverness Cali Thistle. Good start to the game there, Derek.
Yeah, it has been lively, and I think Cali started the better. Billy Mackay with that strike, and it was a good goal from Ayr United. You know, it well worked, and it was an easy strike from only 6 yards out, but they needed that. They needed to get something. It was just a free kick from the left-hand side into the box, and get some big boys Inverness, and the ball just broke well to Welsh, and he made no mistake from about 7-8 yards out. And there's another chance. Billy Mackay, what a save that is. That's a brilliant save. Billy Mackay just playing on the shoulder, and McGinty, he gets there first, and he just tries to ease the ball over the keeper, over Albison, but it's a brilliant save from Albison.
Guys, good to get your thoughts on this.
Chance for Hibs. Henderson, that flicks off the bar.
Good chance.
I think, Leanne, have a look at it. I think it's a really good play. It's played through to Henderson, 15 yards out, slight angle, hits it right-footed. I think it clips the bar.
Yeah, it's good play, just gets underneath it too much. I'm just looking for the replay, Alan, to see if you're right, whether it does come off the crossbar or not.
Yeah,
I think claims for a penalty here.
Is there a goal at time cancel as well?
It.
Yeah, we've lost the line at time cancel, so the goal's going to
get Josh Ginnelly.
Yeah.
Just get a replay of it, hopefully, and we can talk us through it, whether there'll be a check on it or not. What has been the common theme when I've looked at the Hearts game is that they really have, for huge spells just now, it's a deflection, it's a shot with the left foot from Ginnelly. but they've got St Johnstone hemmed right in, Kenny, a lot of the time. Real intricate play in and around the box, and I'm sure when we get Michael back on the line, they'll talk us through it and the problems that Ginnelli's caused. But he takes a touch inside the pitch and he looks to get the shot off, and it's a deflection off the St Johnstone defender, and it wrong foots the goalkeeper, and it gives Hearts the advantage.
Yeah, I spoke before the game, Tom, but Robbie Nielsen needing that reaction. They've had to sit for 2 weeks following that thumping back. Well, not a thumping, but they were well beaten, I think, on the day by Motherwell in the Sunday game at Fir Park. Just the start he needed today.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you look at the league table, and we've been love bombing Hearts all season for their signings and their forward momentum and the quality of their stuff. 35 points ahead of Hibs, who we've been lambasting all season. Crisis Club Hibs. 5 points. Okay, it's now as it stands, it's 8 points. But yeah, Robbie Nielsen needed this. And we know what the Hearts, there's an element amongst the Hearts supporters are just waiting to jump on Robbie Nielsen.
But Hibs were well ahead at one point. You've got to remember that as well. I know what you're saying. That defeat a couple of weeks ago against Motherwell, apart from Celtic and Rangers, Hearts haven't lost a game since October.
But Alan, this won't go away, will it? This won't go away. There is this section of the sport that they're just not having Robbie Nielsen, whatever he does.
Yeah, there is. It doesn't matter what he does, you say. I think because of the way he left before and the Brora result.
I think it was more. I think it was more the Hibs beating them in the cup.
Yeah, Hibs 2-0 up. Yeah,
when they went on to win the cup. I think that's the one. Speaking to Hearts fans recently, that's the one they all go back to.
Nice touch here, Kenny. They both sets of fans and even both sets of players and the referee stop for a minute's applause for the young Ross County fan Dylan McBrogue, who's only 23, unfortunately passed away this week.
Oh, that's a nice touch, remembering the fan. Yeah, football can pay tribute in very, very special ways. Robert, what's your take on this the element of the Heart support that just aren't having Robbie Nielsen?
That's just what Alan said. It doesn't seem to matter what Robbie does. He's got them at the third last year, cup final. There's a small section that just, I don't know if they haven't forgiven him for the 2-0 game that Hibs went on to win the cup that year. He seems to be constantly trying to win them over, but one thing about it doesn't affect him. Trust me, he doesn't affect it. He just gets on with his job.
He's not worried about it. And it comes from a diagonal pass again. Sakala scored the goal. It was a diagonal from Todd Cantwell. Sakala jumped for the ball, completely missed it. It ends up via Cholak at the feet of Sakala, and this time he makes no mistake. A defender back on the line, tries to keep it out, goes high at the roof of the net. It's Rangers 2, Kilmarnock 0. This could be anything.
Yeah, it looks as if they get a break of the ball. Rory just off the diagonal, but are they playing a bit more direct today? Are they looking for those diagonals clearly over the top? That's where they've caused some problems from it. Is it a common theme within the build-up play?
Yeah, and the Motherwell players are incensed here. I don't know, they're claiming there was an elbow use and an aerial challenge.
Right, I'll keep a wee eyes at that.
Didn't catch it, but Stuart Kettle has gone nuts.
Dan Casey on the floor.
Official.
There's not a lot in it. It's Jordan White. Johnny's went up for the header. He's almost up. He's up there already, Jordan White. I think Dan Casey, comes up to try and meet him, and he does meet the elbow, but there's no intent from what I'm looking at from Jordan White.
Stuart Kettle's still going nuts here, but the fourth official's
and I think it's probably off the back of the fact that John Obika, did he pick up a yellow card for there was a coming together with himself and Baldwin a minute or so ago, and it was
a bang, but I didn't see a card get introduced.
No. I saw him getting spoken to, and it was the elbow. Baldwin
that doesn't mean anything, though. He might have been booked.
We've got an equaliser. Albion Rovers now one apiece away at Stirling Albion. Charlie Riley with a goal there on 25 minutes. Tom, you were saying it could be a long, long afternoon for Derek McInnes and these Kilmarnock fans this afternoon.
Yeah,
they just look aside, really struggling at the moment.
Yeah, and look, they're up against a good side, in this league, and Rangers are completely dominant. There seems to be a lot of energy about Rangers. Maybe a lot of anger after their performance at Hampden the week before. They're taking it out on Kilmarnock. And Kilmarnock are just defensively, they're all over the place.
The one word I would use so far, Tom, from a Kilmarnock point of view, is responsibility. Now, Leanne touches on a good point about the build-up from Rangers. Now, under Van Bronckhorst, Kent played on the left, Sakala or whoever it was played on the right, and Morelos or Cholak played through the middle. That's how they played. Now, they're constantly moving, they're constantly interchanging, and from a Kilmarnock point of view, that's where you need to communicate, and somebody needs to take responsibility. Scream at your teammate, I'll go with the runner, I'll take the ball. That's very high level, that example, but that type of thing, and nobody wants to do that for Kilmarnock. You know, they had an opportunity to go forward there. Alan Power, this was before the second, you know, gives the ball away because he's taken far too long on the ball when an easy pass was on. Derek McInnes was tearing his hair out, and I just think from the Kilmarnock point of view, somebody now at 2-0 is going to have to take responsibility, 2-3 players, because if they don't, this could end up 4, 5, 6. This is as good as I've seen Rangers in a while.
They're not good enough though. Kilmarnock, they're just not good enough. They don't have players to do that.
You can still talk to each other and try and keep the ball out the net.
You can talk to each other and try and keep it out of net, but if you're not good enough at keeping it out of net, which they're not, it's not just against Rangers, they're not good enough. There's another cross that's come in.
I appreciate that, but
you know what I mean? They're just not good. They're not good enough against anybody.
They
pretty much in
defended
this
the box. I was at Rugby Park last week perfectly well against Motherwell for long periods. It was a goal in the last minute, right in the top corner that had them beaten. They've not looked the same defensively today, although they are playing against Rangers. I appreciate that.
Conceded 31 goals away from home in 14 games. You know, this is a side that struggles against sides that are way inferior to Rangers.
Well, you don't just give up, Tom. You don't just say, we've conceded 31 goals, we'll no bother talking, we'll no communicate, we'll just get battered.
I don't see a team that's given up. I just see a team that's not good enough.
Is the manager under pressure, Tom?
No, I wouldn't have thought so. Who's going to do a better job? McInnes is a good manager.
Yeah, and I suppose the goal would have been, the target would have been to keep...
Survival is the target.
Survival. Crystal Palace had gone ahead. The goal was chopped off and out behind against Aston Villa. Joachim Andersen with the goal there on 27 minutes. Kelty Hearts 0, SC Edinburgh 1, John Robertson 29. Yes, Derek?
Yeah, we've got a red card here, and it's a strange one. It's Dyer O'Connor. He's been excellent. He's been different class, to be honest with you. And he's running. He went past a couple of players. Just looked at, I think it might be Dees or Duffy. I'm not quite sure, but he was just stretching for it. I didn't think it was a red card.
Derek, can I just come in quickly? Because I don't know if at Michael's game the VAR check's still going on. McLennan went through and goal. Kai Rowles brought him down. I think McLennan was offside, is all I was going to say to you there, in case you were waiting for the...
It's just finished. I mean, honestly, the length of time that took to check, you know, the offside. I mean, really? You know,
I know, you can see it right away because they're two players in isolation, Michael. There's not many other things you need to look at.
There's nothing else around them, and it looked fairly, you know, obvious in real time that he was going to be offside.
He's equalised. We'll have a look at this. It's a long ball just straight through again. It's a long diagonal, really good finish. I think he slips it through the keeper's legs. It will be checked, but Hibernian have equalised at Amon Vale. 1-1.
That's a good response from Hibs. Certainly good play over the top. We'll hopefully get a replay. I've just seen it as the ball hit the net, Alan, so we'll get a look at it. Just seen pictures of the Hibs fans going mental in the stands. But Johan, he looks
a really composed finish.
Yeah, he looks like
he's a young boy.
He's getting better. He's certainly getting better. He's onside for me. Ball over the top. Yeah, it's lovely. Bit of composure. Nice finish. Don't think there's any doubt about it, Alan.
It's a goal for Queen's Park. They've gone 2 ahead. Marcel Oakley with it's a bad mistake at the back for Morton. They give the ball away. The goalkeeper's left stranded, and Oakley's got a simple job of knocking it in from about 10 yards through the inside right channel into the net. And Queen's Park have a real grip on this game and on their place at the top of the championship. 2-0.
Michael,
I tell you, St Johnstone almost scored. How it stayed at the net, I don't know. Xander Clark's managed to get it round the post. A gilt-edged opportunity. I think it was Conor McLennan, probably a yard out, under pressure from the defender, and Xander Clark saved it and put it behind for a corner. But the ball was up the other end with Hearts. Josh Ginnelly was holding off Gordon. He eventually fell down. The referee just waved play on. St Johnstone, good bit of play up the other end. Stevie May on the inside right channel fizzed right across the face of the goal, and it just looked as if it was a certain goal, but Xander Clark's managed to keep it out. Still 1-0 here at Hearts.
Yeah, Mika Hallberg was at the back post as well, Michael. I've no idea how it manages to go beyond him. Just the spin of the ball takes it away from him.
Montrose 2-0 up at home to Clyde now. Sean Dillon with a goal there on 32 minutes. Michael, we did lose you for the goal there for Hearts. What's your assessment on that first half hour or so at Tynecastle?
I think Hearts have played pretty well, to be honest. But St Johnstone have looked dangerous, you know, on a couple of occasions. But in the whole, Hearts have popped it about pretty well. St Johnstone are well in the game, and you know, I don't know how many times we need to say it, it's quite clearly a different St Johnstone side from last season. They don't have, I would say, the same efficiency and cutting edge of the side that went on and got the double, of course, but this is a side that have got belief and confidence and a lot more resilience about them. And this game is you know, it's far from over. It's only 1-0, and it looks like St Johnstone could pose some problems. But Robbie Neilson and Hearts will be a lot happier with the way that this game's shaping up and the performance level, and you know, in comparison to what happened at Fir Park. And I heard you guys obviously talking about Robbie Neilson dynamic, and John Robertson mentioned it there as well. For me, there's always just a couple of games away from, you know, the grumblings of like no good enough and Robbie needs to go, which is madness. It's utter madness. You know, if Hearts weren't to win this game today, I would guarantee you there would be, you know, a large chunk of support, you know, on their high horse again. And okay, it would be a disappointing result, especially after the Motherwell game, but in the grand scheme of things, Hearts are in a very good place. They're, you know, there's obviously improvement that needs to be made, but considering, you know, where they are and the platform they have to make those improvements, I just think any criticism of the management is over-egged at this moment.
So Hearts 1, St Johnstone 0. Josh Ginnelly with a goal on 21 minutes. Livingston 1, Hibs 1. Joel Newbley with the opener for Livy on 9. Ellie Youham with equaliser on 28 minutes. Rangers 2, Kilmarnock 0. Connor Goldson in 6. Fashion Sakala on 25 minutes. And it's Ross County 0, Motherwell 0. In the Scottish Championship this afternoon, Ayr United 1, Inverness Cally Thistle 1. United down to 10 men. Cove Rangers 0, Dundee 0. Partick Thistle 0, Wraith Rovers 0, Queen's Park 2, Morton 0. In League 1, Dunfermline 0, Alloa 0, Falkirk 0, Peterhead 0, Kelty Hearts 0, FC Edinburgh 1, Montrose 2, Clyde 0, Queen of the South 0, Airdrie 0. And in League 2, Annan 1, Stenhousemuir 1, East Fife 1, Forfar 1, Elgin City 0, Bonnyrigg Rose 0, Stirling Albion 1, Albion Rovers 1, Stranraer 0, Dumbarton 1. The leaders have just gone ahead in that game there. And in England this afternoon, it finished Manchester City 2, Newcastle United 0. The leaders Arsenal 0, Bournemouth 1, Aston Villa 1, Crystal Palace 0, Brighton 1, West Ham United 0, Chelsea 0, Leeds 0, Wolves 0, Spurs 0. And the 5:30 kick-off, Southampton against Leicester City.
I tell you what, Kenny, Cholak's not known among the Rangers support for his link-up play. Generally speaking, that's where Alfredo Morelos is asked to do his work. However, his link-up play with Ryan Kentry has been superb. The ball came into him on the edge of the box there. He flicked it with the inside of his boot round the corner to Ryan Kent. He turned, went the other way and created a wonderful opportunity for himself. He did hit it over the bar. That side of his game let him down, which isn't like him, to be fair. Rangers are rampant. They look like they're going to score every time they go forward. However, Kilmarnock, when they do get up the pitch through Armstrong, they've won a couple of corners and had a couple of set pieces. He's not had the best defensive records here at Ibrox since he's come back, Michael Beale. 7 goals he's conceded in 6 games here, which is not like a Rangers side. So, you know, Kilmarnock will take, hopefully, well, possibly a little bit of hope from that, but like I said, whilst Kilmarnock have done okay at times, Rangers look like they're going to score just about every time they run forward.
Queen of the South 1, Airdrie 0, Ewan Easton 35 minutes, Stirling Albion 1, Albion Rovers 2, Charlie Riley with the second of the game there on 36 minutes.
Yeah, Kenny, that wasn't, in my opinion, it wasn't a sending off. It's a little bit the one last night with the boy Little. I think it was Craig Napier, the referee last night, just too quick to brandish the red. And same here in the corner, he's going past a couple of players, he's overhit it a little, he's stretching for it. I don't think there was any malice in it. I think it, you know, at worst it's a yellow card, but again, the referee Scott Lambie here just doesn't give himself any time to think. Just he was right in there, right away, out with the card, and you know, buy yourself for a little bit of time. I don't think that was
Did you hear Ian Campbell's interview after the game, Derek? He made that exact point.
I was filling the dishwasher up at that time. Tell us, Rory.
He's just saying exactly what you said there, and then you're exactly right. How can you process any logical, rational thinking in half a second?
Too quick, far too quick. Just buy yourself a little 5-10 seconds. Have a wee look at the linesman.
100%.
You know, and just far too quick just to make that decision.
It did look a poor decision last night, Leanne, didn't it?
Oh, if it was a poor decision. If I
absolutely.
hadn't filled that dishwasher, I was in trouble, by the way. I'd have got it.
Sorry, wine glasses you're cleaning.
Well, I was going to say he's not a man that makes spontaneous decisions. Derek, did you fancy another drink? Aye.
Guys, I think your thoughts on this, and Derek, perhaps you give a good insight here. Myself and Rory did a podcast on Monday with Peter Grant, and he was saying on there, Derek, that for the Celtic players, training will be more competitive for these players than the vast majority of the games they play in. Would you accept that? Is that something you experienced when you were at Rangers?
Well, certainly with the small-sided games, you know, very rarely, and I'm talking about in the early days, under John Gregg, Jock Wallace and Graham, you know, when it was 5 aside, 7 aside, or even 11 aside, it was hell of a competitive, because you get through the motions, well, a little bit. I don't know if that's right of me to say that, you know, and you're going through your passing drills and some of the other drills, but once it was game on and there was a game to be won, it was full on. And is that what Peter said? Because
Leanne, sorry, just have a look at this. The linesman is given a free kick.
Again. Scuffs his
shot. A free kick to Rangers here, Leanne. How Sakala has won a free kick here, I have no idea. He absolutely wipes Armstrong out.
Yeah, I've just seen them coming together. I'll need to see it again. They've both collided. That looks as if it was Fashion Sakala that
he tries to jump for the ball.
Yeah.
It was like a clothesline for the WWF.
Mid-flight. Yeah, it's a foul for Armstrong, 100%.
My goodness me, that is unbelievable.
Dan Armstrong actually stops because I think he realises the bounce of the ball is going to come over him and he'll be able to protect it from Sakala. And as he stops to rotate, Sakala just flies
Martin
over the top of him.
shaking his head here. It's an outrageous decision.
Derek McInnes is down on the touchline there. He seems confused, I think, to say the least. Yeah, just to go back yourself, Derek, that's what Peter Grant was saying. Just saying it's just that because of the guys they're up against competing for a place in Ange Postecoglou's starting 11, these will be more competitive games in training than the vast majority play week in, week out.
I can see that. How was Peter?
Peter's in good form.
Yeah, I like Peter. I like Peter
I
Grant.
don't think.
Good
I
lad.
don't think they were saying that when they went to Paisley in September.
he said the vast majority, didn't say them all, Chick.
Oh, we're in retreat now.
Well, I mean, you know, Celtic have had to battle through 8, 9, 10 domestic games, winning by a goal. So I think it's a bit glib, to be honest.
Think so?
I think from Peter. Yeah, I do.
Yeah, check it away, Gab.
Great ball down the right-hand side. I think it was Turner got the ball in, and then at the back post, it looks as if it was Scott Tiffany right through some traffic. Partick Thistle, Kenny, have been on top of this game.
Johan again! What? Hibs have been brilliant since they went 1-0 down in 9 minutes. It's a lovely play. So 1-2, we hop at the edge of the box, and Johan on his left foot. Lovely finish into the bottom corner. They've turned it round. Livingston 1, Hibs 2.
It's a nice finish, Alan, but it looked as if it was in slow-mo there. As I glanced up at the camera, it was taking its time to go over the line, but it gets there in the end. You say they've looked good when I've looked up across the screen. The pressure's been good. They've moved the ball well, middle to front. They look, even the celebrations from the Hibs dugout looks really energetic and enthusiastic. I think you can see how much it means to them, especially today. And after, I think, the words that we've heard about Ron Gordon in the past week or so.
Chances, Alan, of Hibs catching Hearts.
Kenny, can I just say there's been a yellow card for the manager, Dougie Emery here.
Right.
Dougie Emery getting involved with... didn't see it the referee's way, shall I put it that way? Mike Ron Con's the referee here. And the referee stopped the game, walked across to the Morton dugout and gave the manager... Dougie Emery a yellow card. Remember, his team are trailing by 2 goals to 0 against a Queen's Park team who do begin to look like potential champions now.
So Scott Tiffany with that goal there, Gav, what a start to his management career for Chris Doolan.
Oh, absolutely. They're actually on the attack again with Scott Tiffany. They've been playing really well, and as I said earlier, before the game, he was wanting to just try and continue how he's been taking the approach with the under-18s. He said a few tweaks here or there, but in all, he's really happy with how they performed. But, 7 points out of 9 away from home. You beat Dundee, you've drawn Arbroath, you beat Ayr. Teams round about them, Kenny, that's completely open the promotion doors in the league. I mean, there's Ayr, Morton and Partick Thistle all with 40 points, so it's just an absolute dream start for Chris Doolan.
Cholak's wanting a penalty here for a handball. I think it came from Jarell Dorsett. He was running back, really strong running to get back in front of Kent. Cholak saying it hit off his arm. He seemed convinced of it and had a good view of it. Leanne, I don't know if you can see it.
It's a tricky one to see. The angle that I've just seen it from behind it initially side on, but I think it maybe has come off the top of his chest just at the side.
Rangers, honestly, they're running rampant every time they go forward. Kilmarnock are really hard at 6s and 7s. They don't know what they're doing. Just on the Celtic kind of point earlier, Kenny, you were making that Peter Grant said, I can imagine, you know, the standard of training may be better because, you know, they're coming up against players who are direct rivals for the squad, and we all know how good and deep Celtic's squad is. In terms of a competitive edge, I don't know about that. I know that the podcast was quite short. We didn't discuss every individual point, but I just don't know. You know, nothing really compares to a match day, and as Tom quite rightly points out, they've not won every game handsomely. There have been games where they've had to grind it out, and that competitive nature is there.
League One leaders Dunfermline are ahead at home to Alloa. Chris Hamilton with a goal on 41 minutes there. What do you make, Rory, of Kilmarnock? I know it's perhaps a difficult day to judge them, but in terms of the squad Derek McInnes has there, does he have enough to keep them up, do you think?
Yeah, well, I think Derek McInnes does. I don't know. Oh, Willie Collins going to cross to the screen here. What he's checking, I'm not quite sure.
Oh.
Handball. I think he's checking the handball. I assume it's the one from earlier that I mentioned, but I can't be sure. Willie Collins was up at the VAR before the game, having a word with it. And he's back there just now.
I'm unsure, Rory. I would be surprised if it's that handball because
I didn't see anything else. Meanwhile, Cantwell's down and he looks injured.
Yeah, do you know what? I actually think it might be this they're looking at. It's
Dorset
incredible
one.
that the game has been on as long as it has.
Yes, that's the point.
Yeah, it's definitely a handball they're looking at.
I mean, I can only assume it is for that incident. I mean, it was great running from Dorset. He got back in and he's running away from the ball, and Kent had made a good run, but I couldn't see it. Kent was covering my view.
Leanne,
penalty kick.
County looked for a penalty, and the referee said no.
Right, so penalty for Rangers. We'll get that from Rory and John Robertson. You're saying a penalty shout.
Danda broke through, rolled it into Laturi. Laturi took a heavy touch. He went down as the Motherwell player came out. He knocked it past him. I thought he knocked it past him. To me, it looked like a penalty, but Don Robertson has given a corner, so it'll be worth checking. No, it's check over. He's told them to get on with it.
Coonan South 2, Airdrie 0, Lewis Gibson on 43 minutes. Stirling Albion have equalised at home to Albion Rovers. Dale Carrick on 44 minutes.
Well, it does look like it's a handball, but
yeah.
How much time is too much time? That seems to be a fair amount of time that's elapsed, and then the play's called back. Let's have a look at the VAR. That's in quite a while.
The check had come and gone.
Yeah.
Waited
but surely the main
Rory.
thing is it's a correct decision.
Is it the correct decision, guys? Do you think it's a penalty?
As if it is.
I think it is, Rory.
I've seen it from a close-up angle. His arms extended. It looks as if it catches just probably below the bicep. Yeah.
Nobody sent Michael the video.
I'm sure they'll have a say on it.
Yeah.
The thing is, it's a shame because...
Sorry, Leanne.
Yeah, no, I'll let you talk us through it then.
As you would expect, Tavernier step up. Cantwell is over the touchline. I thought for a second he might need to be substituted off, but he looks like he's struggling slightly. Willie Collins having a word with Borna Barisic about encroachment. That's what the delay is. But Tavernier, short run up as always, maybe 2-3 yards from the ball. Willie Collins blows his whistle. Captain steps up. Oh, good penalty. Whips it. Sam Walker goes the right way. Absolutely no chance. Side netting. 3-0 Rangers.
Yep, good penalty. Really well hit.
Honestly, this could be 6 or 7 the way they're going, isn't it?
Yeah, it could be.
I mean, Rory's a real danger of an absolute embarrassment.
Best I've seen Rangers at home. I think Aberdeen, they played well in phases and took their chances that day. You know, in terms of the actual movements, Raskin's been good, Cantwell's been good, Sakala's been excellent, and Kent as well has been involved in the game, and Cholak's link-up play's been good. Really, really good to watch, I must say. I have to say, I've been here a few times this season, and once it gets to 1 or 2-0, they go through the motions. They're not particularly great to watch. That can't be said about this first half. They've been really, really enjoyable to watch.
You'd expect Rangers to do a kind of job on Kilmarnock the way Kilmarnock are, but they're on the back of a bruising defeat last Sunday in the Cup final. But this is a good response from Rangers. We're talking about Kilmarnock's woes. letting in all these goals. You have to give Rangers some credit for this, because this is a very good reaction to what was a pretty soul-destroying defeat at Hampden.
Half-time
that
score,
is half-time,
Kelton
1-0 Rangers.
Thanks. Half-time, Kelton 0, FC Edinburgh 1. Yes, Chip.
Yeah, half-time here at Ochilview, and it's Queen's Park 2, Morton 0.
Half-time, Queen of the South 2, Airdrie 0, Stirling Albion 2, Albion Rovers 2, East Fife 1, Forfar Athletic 1.
Cove, a goal for Dundee.
Right, take it away, Tyrone.
Yep, a goal at Cove in added time in the first half. The ball fell to Lyle Cameron. He caught it so sweetly from 18 yards, and it just looped over Scott Fox and into the goal to give Dundee an added time lead here at Memorial Stadium.
Thanks to Tyrone there. Other half-time score lines coming through this afternoon. Chelsea 0, Leeds 0. What a tough time Graham Potter is having there.
Half-time, Dingwall. County 0, Motherwell 0.
Thanks, Robin. Montrose 2, Clyde 0, Aston Villa 1, Crystal Palace 0, Elgin City 0, Bonnyrigg Rose 0. That's you up to date with all the half-time score lines.
1-0 to Thistle.
Yeah, what a start to management for Chris Doolan. Scott Tiffany with a goal there on 39 minutes. Looking at the live championship table, Thistle would be up to third on 43 points. So just, it was that chance.
Two added on minutes at Armand Vale, Kenny, where Hibs are 2-1 up, and deservedly so. They've played really well since they went that 1 goal down, and you're thinking Aidan McGeady, arguably their best player in the last run of 6 or 7 games unbeaten, is out for the rest of the season. But I think Will Fish has made such a difference. I know Ryan Pochus has gone away down the road. He's come in, he's stepped in. I watched him play at Tynecastle. He played right back. Didn't look comfortable that day, but as a right centre half, he looks a very good player. Hibs are still winning 2-1 into 2 minutes of added on time.
Yeah, that could be a big
half-time here at Tynecastle as well.
Yeah, thanks to Michael and to Tyrone. That's all the half-time score lines coming through. So looking at the live Premiership table, Hibs in 4th spot on 40 points. St Mirren 37. They play tomorrow, lunchtime kickoff. They're at home to Celtic. Full coverage on Sports, and Aberdeen there in 6th, and that game tonight away at Tannadice live on Sports Sound. It's a 6 o'clock start there. So just waiting on your game to finish. Alan Preston, been quite a turnaround, hasn't it? Not just in this game from Hibs, but a few weeks ago, as we were mentioning earlier, there was a lot of talk over the future of the manager there at Hibs.
Yeah, there was, and I think that, you know, he's done very well. It shows you if you give a manager time, he gets a bit of time to bed his players in. He got a lot of players out as well in that January window. Brought a couple in. Hops came in. Egan Riley's came in as well, who looks very good. Diego is a holding midfield player. So these are guys that, especially Diego, a lot of experience, and Hibs are playing well. I've just touched on him. Will Fish is very good as well. Cadden playing it right back. And you would have thought with obviously Nisbet long-term injury out, but now he's back on the bench. Kucheravi as well, which was a problem for them. You know, they had injuries. Doige got to Kilmarnock, but Johan stepped up today with 2 goals, and you wouldn't back against him to get a hat-trick. He's lightning pace, young lad. You know, probably not the most natural finisher, but his 2 goals today have been taken very well. You know, and Lee Johnson's side will go in at half-time 2-1 up. There goes the whistle now, and deservedly so.
Okay,
half-time Kenny as well at Somerset. Ayr United 1, Inverness Cali Thistle 1.
Thanks to Derek and to Alan. So all the half-time whistles have blown. We'll get reaction on Sports and coming up between now and 4 o'clock. Stay with us.
All the grounds, all the goals, all the news.
This is Open All Mics from Sports Sound.
From BBC Radio Scotland.
The first of our commentaries this afternoon comes from Ibrox. Rangers against Kilmarnock there for us. Paul Mitchell and Richard Foster.
And Rangers look to have the 3 points wrapped up. They lead by 3 goals to 0. Kilmarnock have not scored more than a single goal in any of their last 35 visits to Ibrox. It takes something of a miracle to get something today. Went behind after 6 minutes after a bright start with a simple ball in from a corner. Couple of shots, goalkeeper made a save, but the ball fell to Conor Golson, who netted to put Rangers 1-0 up. Fashion Sakala then fashioned onto a really good piece of play by Rangers. They'd knocked the ball about, but he somehow managed to miss after Kent's low cross after 70 minutes, but he didn't miss after 25 minutes. A mess at the back from Kilmarnock. Cholak fed Sakala. It was 2-0. Alabayasu conceded a penalty with just a minute to go before half-time. VAR was the giver of the penalty. The referee had let things go, and James Tavernier stepped up to score his 51st penalty in a Rangers shirt. And Richard Foster, Kilmarnock have done some good things, but Rangers simply too strong and too good.
Yeah, they play very well, Rangers, and their formation is McGregor in goals, 2 at the back, and then I've no idea what they play. They move so much. Sometimes Jack is in an advanced position, sometimes it's Raskin, Cantwell, Kent comes into the inside, Sakala comes inside. It's all over the place, and so far it's working really well for them because they all know what they're doing, and Kilmarnock don't know what to do against them because the Rangers, Kilmarnock have got a lot of bodies in that area, but no one actually picks anyone up. Because the movement's so good, nobody picks anyone up, and they're constantly marking space, and Rangers are good enough to see the space, to move into it, to pass round it, and it's, you know, they should be further ahead than they are. The goals Kilmarnock have conceded have been poor, set piece and the penalty, and then the second goal is just a long ball from Rangers. You know, with the quality of football they've played, they've scored from just a long ball into the box from Cantwell and a mix-up in the Kilmarnock defence. But that's why, with all respect, Kilmarnock are where they are, because they don't defend the box very well, they don't close Rangers down, and they don't look like an attacking threat at all in this game.
Could be a long second half for Kilmarnock, but Rangers have bounced back. Cantwell and Raskin have impressed. Half-time, Rangers 3, Kilmarnock 0.
Yeah, Rangers very good in the opening 45 minutes there at Ibrox. It's been a good game through Almond Vale. Alan Preston.
That's been an excellent game, and Livingston started the game well with a shot from Montano inside the opening minutes, but they took the lead in 9. Lovely 50-yard pass by Morgan Boys right onto the foot of Joel Newbley. He took it down out the air, beat Cabrera, and his shot off the underside of the bar beat Marshall. But from then on it was all Hibs. Hibs, really good response. Henderson had a shot for me, just clipped the bar and over, and it equalised in 27 minutes. The Livingston defence pushed up. Chris Cadden with a long ball over the top. There was Eli Yuhan in millions of space, no one near him. Really composed finish, looked like he put it through the keeper's legs for 1-1. And then 10 minutes later it was 2-1. Again Johan was involved, he cuts inside, plays a 1-2 with Hoppe, and again not a great finish, but found the bottom corner. It was his left foot, not the strongest. But that's 5-5 now for Eli Johan, and a half-time score at Livingston. Livingston 1, Hibernian 2.
So 3 goals at Almond Vale, yet to find a goal in Dingwall. John Robertson.
No, we haven't, but I tell you what, it's not for the lack of trying. Both teams having a real go here. County started very well. The first 30 seconds, Eamon Brophy raced clear down the right, whipped the ball inches ahead of John White, who just couldn't get there. And the same man, Brophy, had a shot just 2 minutes later where he got round the keeper, round the last defender, smashed a really good shot, which was saved low to Kelly's left-hand side. And Motherwell went up the park. Obika should have scored. Wonderful ball in from the left-hand side, and he headed wide from 6 yards. Back came County. Brophy had a header, and then Danda had a shot blocked on the 6-yard line as it looked if it might be flying in. Motherwell then came back. Obika flicked one over, and then their best chance came in 42 minutes. A good move down the left-hand side. It was played to the back post. Van Veen took a touch, smashed a shot. Great save from Kelly. It came out to Slattery. He smashed it across the face of the goal, and despite a sliding Obika coming in, he couldn't get on the end of it. No goals, plenty of action. Still 0-0.
Thanks to John Robertson there. Let's get into... I'll give you we're having problems with the line at Tynecastle. So the half-time score at Tynecastle is Hearts 1, St Johnstone 0. Josh Ginnelly with a goal there on 21 minutes. So the half-times in the top flight. Hearts 1, St Johnstone 0. Livingston 1, Hibs 2. Rangers 3, Kilmarnock 0. Ross County 0, Motherwell 0. The 6 o'clock kick-off live from Tannadice will be Dundee United against Aberdeen. Let's then get into the Championship. Chick Young is watching Queen's Park against Morton.
Indeed, Kenny, Queen's Park are nosing further towards automatic promotion to the Premiership. So far, they're 2-0 ahead against Morton. The 2 fullbacks have scored the goals. Actually, the first was a low left shot from Tommy Robson. Marcus Oatley added the second from the right side. It was a simple knock-home after shambolic defending from the visitors. I have to say, Queens have looked very, very impressive. Morton, a shadow of the team that I've watched several times over the last few weeks. They are shy up front, not solid at the back at all, and Queens are very comfortable on the ball, and they're playing some sweet football on this synthetic surface at Stenhousemuir, of course, where they are playing out their games in for the rest of the season. Queens, of course, will make the decision whether to play at Hampden next season, looking more and more as if they could be stunning winners of this championship race, and I believe that they would try and play their matches at Hampden proper next season. More news of that to come, Kenny, as the weeks go by, but at the moment they look to me as if we've got a real grip, certainly in this football match and on the road for the first time to Premiership football on the south side of Glasgow.
Yeah, what a season, what a story at Queen's Park. Let's then get to the game. Cove Rangers against Dundee there for us, Tyrone Smith.
Yeah, Kenny, at the break here at the Balmoral Stadium, it's Cove Rangers 0, Dundee 1. Now, given the high stakes in this one and the poor recent form of both sides, it's perhaps unsurprising. It's been a pretty tight, cagey affair. Dundee, they have looked the more threatening, they've had more possession. Lyle Cameron and Paul McMullen in particular have been getting themselves into some pretty decent positions, but the final ball's been lacking at times. But they did go close in 38 minutes. Luke Hannon whipped the ball in from the left. It was met by Jordan McGee, and his header forced a fine diving save from Scott Fox. And moments later, Fox was called into action again. A Cameron 25-yarder stinging his palms. But in first half added time, it was Dundee who did take the lead. The ball fell to Cameron, and his 18-yard strike took a deflection, which helped it loop over Fox and into the net. How big a goal could that be for Dundee? At the break here at the Balmoral Stadium, it's Cove Rangers 0, Dundee 1.
Yeah, it's been a struggle for Cove Rangers this season. Dundee in and out of form. Let's then get to Ayr United against Inverness Cally Thistle there for us, Derek Ferguson.
Yeah, Kenny, Ayr United 1, Inverness Cally Thistle 1 at the moment. Good old game this one. The home side, they opened the score in 12 minutes in. It was good build-up play from United, resulting in a corner, squaring to Deepo Akinyemi to blast home from 6 yards out. The equaliser from Cally, that came 7 minutes later. It was a free kick from the left-hand side. United not dealing with it, struggling in fact, and the ball broke to Sean Welsh to guide home from about 8 yards out. Ayers O'Connor was then strangely shown a straight red card. It was on the half hour for a challenge on Duffy. Didn't quite get it myself. Really soft, and the fans have shown their their disappointment in that. Certainly at half times the referee went down the tunnel. Cally with the extra man, where they went close with Duffy 5 minutes from the break with a header just going inches past the right hand post. Then it was Duffy again right on the break, stinging the fingers of Albison in goals. So at the moment it's Ayr United 1, Inverness Cally Thistle 1.
Thanks to Derek Ferguson there at Somerset Park. Partick Thistle at home to Wraith Rovers this afternoon. Gavin Wallace.
Yeah, Partick Thistle 1, Wraith Rovers 0. Kenny, the dream start for Chris Dillon continues. A scrappy first half, but Thistle dominant. The deadlock broken on the 39th minute. It was a great run down the right-hand side from Kyle Turner. His deep cross was at the back post, met by Scott Tiffany, who on the tightest of angles headed home for his 4th league goal of the season. As I say, that dream start, Kenny, continues for Chris Dillon. The promotion doors wide open. Half-time at Firhill. Partick Thistle 1, Wraith Rovers 0.
Tonight on Reporting Scotland.
This is Good Morning Scotland.
Marking 100 years of our BBC in Scotland.
Join me, Nicola Meehan, for the big birthday bash. We celebrate with a host of guests and live music, and we reflect on key moments.
Well, I will tell you this.
Listen on BBC Sounds.
There's a special edition of Scotland's Topical Panel Show, breaking 100 years of the news, Monday morning from 11:15.
Join me, Brian Burnett, next week for your centenary-themed songs on Get It On.
And we'll dip into the archive to look at some of the big stories from across that time.
Onto the field come Scottish supporters. 100 years of our BBC in Scotland on Radio Scotland.
So the half-time scores in the Championship: Ayr United 1, Inverness Cally Thistle 1. United down to 10 men. Cove Rangers 0, Dundee 1, Partick Thistle 1, Wraith Rovers 0. Thistle up to 3rd in the table. Queen's Park, the leaders 2, Morton 0. In League 1, the leaders Dunfermline 1, Alloa 0, Falkirk 0, Peterhead 0, Kelty Hearts 0, SC Edinburgh 1, Montrose 2, Clyde 0, and Queen of the South 2, Airdrie 0. And in League 2, Annan 1, Stennismuir 1, East Fife 1, Forfar 1, Elgin City 0, Bonnyrigg Rose 0, Stirling Albion 2, Albion Rovers 2, and Stranraer 0. Dumbarton 1. The leaders ahead there. So a choice of listening once again on BBC Radio Scotland for full commentary of Rangers against Kilmarnock. Tune to BBC Radio Scotland on digital, Radio Scotland Extra on BBC Sounds and 810 Medium Wave. And for open all mics, choose BBC Radio Scotland on BBC Sounds and 92 to 95 FM.
On digital radio,
FM,
online at BBC Sports Scotland,
your smart speaker,
and on BBC Sounds.
This is Sports Sound from BBC Radio Scotland.
There's no substitute.
Welcome back to Open All Mics on BBC Radio Scotland. Just to go through the score lines in the English Premier League. It finished Manchester City 2, Newcastle United 0. The leaders Arsenal a goal down at home to Bournemouth. That goal coming after just 9 seconds. Aston Villa 1, Crystal Palace 0, Brighton 1, West Ham 0, Chelsea 0, Leeds 0, Wolves 0, Spurs 0. The tea time kickoff, Southampton against Leicester City. Leanne Crichton. So just looking through the score lines in the top flight in Scotland this afternoon. Rangers cruising against Kilmarnock. Real problems for Derek McInnes's side. How big a blow to their confidence could this one be? Ross County against Motherwell gave it the build at a big game. That one's goalless. Livingston against Hibs has been a good game through there. Livy going ahead. A double from El Yuhan has Hibs ahead there now. And Hearts against St Johnstone, a tight game, but Josh Ginnelly with the opener there for the home side. A big deflection.
Yeah, it's been an interesting afternoon so far.
Oh, sorry, Rory McKenzie's
you're fine.
just went down there, Leanne. I think the ball's too far away from be a penalty. The ball's at his feet, I think it's a penalty. McGregor makes a hash of a Jordan Jones shot, spills it out his hands. The ball drops at the feet of McKenzie. Looks like McGregor wipes him out, but the ball maybe be too far
that way. I'm just going to get a look at it just now.
It's a strange one because it is a foul
really
for me, but the
clumsy.
ball... Yeah.
Honestly, I think that's a penalty.
Do you think so?
That was my first reaction as well, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah,
and it doesn't even look as if they're looking at it either.
No.
Normally you can tell.
Yeah. I mean, he's still not taking the corner, but there is no check as far as I'm aware.
No, it was poor from Alan McGregor. Certainly running the risk. I know those, might not define or change
how far the ball is from McKenzie and it's going out of play, that's why he doesn't give it.
Possibly.
Certainly looked a foul.
Yeah, no, you've seen ones like that given, after the ball's away and the challenge comes in. It's probably the ones that are not given too often, I would need to say. Was that a half-time change?
If the ball's still in play, Leanne, if the ball's still in play...
I'm just getting another look at it just now, Chip.
He does not need to be that challenged.
No, he doesn't. And he brings him to the floor. The ball's just on its way towards the byline, going out.
Jordan Jones came on for Ryan Alvey also at half-time, Leanne, if that's what you're going to ask. They've just made the one change.
Noticed in the screen that Kelly were sent out quite sharp. I think that always tells you how the chat in the dressing room's gone at half-time, that you get sent out early.
Yes, indeed. One of those, probably about 5 or 6 of them, have got 10 minutes or you're off. One of those ones.
Yeah, Rangers cruising there, but Kilmarnock perhaps should have been awarded a penalty in that game. Rangers 3, Kilmarnock 0. Connor Goldson in 6 minutes. Fashion Sakala on 25, and James Tavernier with a penalty on 45 minutes. Back underway in Dingwall, John Robertson.
Yeah, we are here. They're out quite sharp, and nothing much has changed there. County had on a chance here. Oh, Baldwin drove forward. Sorry, Yakovetti drove forward there. Smashed a low shot that's deflected away for a corner. No changes by either manager at half time. As I say, they might not win any goals, but it's certainly been lively enough.
Yeah, so Kilmarnock 24 points, 11th in the table. Dundee United bottom on 20, but as things stand, there are the 2 games in hand on Kilmarnock. Ross County 25 points, Motherwell 28 points, up to St Johnstone 31. Livingston, a poor run of form from them. They currently sit outside the top 6 after being there for so long this season.
Has to be a penalty, yes, penalty.
Yep.
To Ross County. The corners come in here, and it looked from here that Baldwin was getting his shirt pulled. He was just hauled to the ground. I don't think Don Robertson had any other option there to give it. Leanne, looks a snowball penalty.
Yeah, I've seen it real
he's given
time.
A yellow card as well.
Just not close enough for me to actually see the level of contact. But I think when you see Baldwin on the floor, as soon as the penalty's awarded, he bounces back up onto his feet and celebrates. the referee's
well,
decision.
Well, you could see the jersey getting held there, as I say, from this side. You could see his shoulder blade was bare. And as Don Robertson took a couple of seconds to think about it and then immediately pointed to the spot.
Yeah, big moment then in Dingwall. Stuart Kettle unbeaten as Motherwell manager. What a start he's made, but County full of confidence after that terrific result last weekend.
Yeah, they will be, John. It was Callum Butcher, I think, was the offender that was given the yellow card. It's a penalty.
Yeah,
all day long.
They're saying it's a VAR check, and that's what they're waiting on, but it looked pretty clear to me.
Yeah, he gets the run on him, and to me it looks as if he, with two hands, kind of grabs him by the side with his shirt and kind of holds him back. They'll get a better look at it from this angle, actually. I'm getting it's no doubt it's a penalty all day long. I've got no idea.
That's what I don't understand why they're taking so long. Why they're taking so long to give it here.
Butcher is doing, and Don Robertson couldn't have been in a better position himself to award it.
But that's the thing there, you've had two looks at it, and it's a penalty kick. Yeah. It looked a penalty kick for here. You're saying it's a penalty. They're still checking it here. The players are all milling around the penalty spot. He's got to look at it. Can you believe this?
This could be a big call.
I cannot believe he's even thinking about looking at this, Leah.
There was another incident that happened just in front. I'm not too sure who the two players were that were kind of coming together. They might be looking at whether there's been another infringement elsewhere, or maybe there was an initial foul. I don't know, but certainly the incident in isolation to me looks like there certainly was a shirt pull from Butcher, no doubt.
Well, this is the aspect of it as well. I say we're going through this clear and obvious mistake. It doesn't look like there's a clear and obvious mistake there, because you've looked at it and you think it's a penalty. I've thought it's a penalty. The refs think it's a penalty. But as you say, unless there's something untoward that's affected the ball getting there.
We're just seeing some pictures come in, Leanne.
I think they might possibly look to see initially whether Butcher
He's disappeared. Here it comes. So here's the decision. No penalty.
Yeah.
Well, as I say, I don't know what they've seen there. But
when you see the still image, John, actually before the incident happens,
the yellow card's been rescinded.
It's Baldwin that initiates the shirt pull.
Okay.
He
There's
then
a chance
gets
for
the
Hibs.
spin.
Hoppy's right through, 1-on-1 with the keeper. Oh, the goalie's made a great save. The Hibs fans at my end thought was in. He tries to roll it through his legs. Keeper makes himself big. Shamal George does really well. That could have been 3-1 and possibly game over. Big chance.
Yeah, it's a huge chance. Just to get back to Dingwall, sorry John, just to wrap on this. It's probably one that people can look at tonight in Sports Scene, because you'll see the phase of play that we looked at and you've probably seen in real time. Butcher absolutely makes the foul, but the incident before it and the build-up, as I say, Baldwin initiates a shirt pull, and that's why the two players then come together. Butcher almost retaliates, but I think the initial foul has clearly been given the opposite way.
Liam, when you mean initiate the shirt pull,
both of them are at it, Michael. Both of them are shirt pulling. So Baldwin pulls Butcher and gets the run on him, and Butcher holds him back as he gets the run on him. So I think they've looked at it.
The bit that John's seen, Michael, is it's clearly a foul that we've seen on Baldwin, but prior to that.
But I get it now that Baldwin pulls Butcher first.
Yeah, but if the referee doesn't take that into consideration, it's silly that Butcher, because it's as blatant as it comes, to haul him to the ground.
Kenny, on the talking about referees, officials, our referee here today, Scott Lambie, he's had 27 games so far, gave 9 red cards out. Oof. And that wasn't a red card today for me. Never
Goal
in a
for
million
Partick
years.
Thistle.
Yes, Gav.
Brian Graham in the back stick. It was absolutely superb play by Thistle down the left-hand side. There was a lovely reverse pass into the box, and then right through the corner of Dow Kenny. Nobody went for it. Graham gambled at the back post, and that Thistle start for Chris Doolan continues. 2-0 Partick Thistle.
Kilmarnock should have nicked one back there. Jordan Jones has made a difference since he's come on, I must say. They took a quick free kick and caught Rangers out, and Jones has flashed one right across the face. Dorset and Taylor both sliding in, neither making contact with it, and Kilmarnock should have one back. Like I say, still 3-0.
Yeah, they should, no doubt about it. I'm just wondering if Alan McGregor got a nick on it there as it came through and just perhaps redirected it. It happened quite quickly, Rory, but a big chance.
Just interesting the body language of Tavernier. He gets the ball after a little bit of Kilmarnock pressure. He strides forward in low acres of space, and he's given.
Oh, decent effort.
Yes, Alan.
Mickey Devlin, really good play. It's a ball clipped in, Holt controls it, knocks it square to Devlin, runs on 25 yards out, right foot shot just wide of the target.
Airdrie pulled a goal back away to Queen of the South. Gabby McGill on 51 minutes. Chelsea have gone ahead against Leeds United. Wesley Fofana on 53 minutes. Brighton have doubled their advantage at home to West
Hoppy's
Ham.
through again. This could be a red card. It could be a red card, and it is a red card for Jack Fitzwater. It's a ball over the top. Hoppy's onto it. Fitzwater brings him down just about a yard outside the box. Referee straight out with a red card. Right decision, in my opinion. Chance for Hibs to go 3-1 up. Free kick outside the box. Livingston are now down to 10 men.
Right, Leanne's going to have a look at that. Just waiting for the replay. Annan are now 2-1 up at home to Stenhousemuir. Dominic Docherty with a goal there on 51 minutes. Brighton 2-0 up against West Ham. Joel Veltman with a goal on 51 minutes. That's you right up to just waiting on a replay coming through from that one, Leanne.
Yeah, still nothing yet. I would agree with Alan though in real time. I think he's got it right. The referee has got the decision correct. Chris Graham. Ball over the top. Yeah, for me, he's last man. There's contact, brings him down just outside the box. Next touch from Hop is taking him right into the box. It's a clip, he just catches his heels. I don't even think it, he's not intentionally caught him. But it's denied an obvious goal scoring opportunity, I think.
Queen of the South 3, Airdrie 1. Kieran McKechnie with the goal in 56. Yes, Alan?
Fitzwater is standing at the side of the pitch. He's waiting to see if it's going to be go to VAR and appealed. Not for me, I agree with Leanne. On real time, I thought it was a straight red. Really good play. And what a difference in this Hibs side since the game against Hearts in the Cup. Bringing in the likes of Hoppy is one, Riley another, Jago as well getting up to speed. 3 good players have managed to bring in. They're still looking at this. Fitzwater is standing on the side of the pitch waiting. The referee's got his hand to his ear.
When you look at it, Alan, in comparison to the one last night, I don't know if you said you had seen that or not, but for me there was a recovering defender last night. Touch was taking him away from goal. This one is very different. He's last man. His touches towards goal. Yeah.
But totally accidental.
He's a lot closer. A lot closer.
Yeah.
So Livy down to 10 men. Fitzwater sent off in the 52nd minute. Hibs with the advantage in that game. They are leading there by 2 goals. Well, it could actually have been 3, barring a good save, as Alan said, from the Livy goalkeeper. But a chance now, Alan, from the edge of the area.
Yeah, they're going to be Cabrera with his left foot. There's a little... Livingston are trying to make a change to just dispose this free kick. Stephen Kelly is the one that's been sacrificed for Oberlai to go on and make up that back 4 again. I would imagine that Anderson will maybe drop off. Nubel will go up on his own, but we'll soon see. But Cabrera, here's an opportunity for him. I think there's a chance for this to be bent outside the wall. I really do. I don't, from where I'm looking, it's difficult, but I think Cabrera could go round the outside of the wall with his left foot. We'll soon find out. That Hibs have been very good since they've gone down 1-0 down in 9 minutes. They've dominated this match, played well. Free kick hits off the wall.
Yeah,
referee's going to have to stop it because it's hit a player in the face.
Yeah, poor free kick in the end there. Let's get into the Championship. Gerrit Ferguson, what's happening in your game?
I tell you what, Kenny, this year United side are doing well with the 10 men. They're on the front foot at the moment, forcing 2 or 3 corners. So I was expecting just a wave after wave of attack from Inverness Cali. They've had one chance. Billy Mackay should have done a little bit better in front of goal, but came at him at an awkward angle. But I just expected it to Bill Cali, but it isn't. It's pretty even Ayr United with the man down. So just forcing a few corners at the moment, putting Cali under a little bit of pressure. So all to play for here, Kenny.
And the leader's still in control. Check there against Morton.
Yeah, mightily impressed with Queen's Park actually. They're a good side, they played football and then really tight at the back. I love big stiff and saving easy at the back. He's played it very easy actually. Just to get into Morton a rare attack. Now there's a chance actually. Take the words out of my mouth, Morton have got one back. It's just knocked into the net. It was a simple job finish for George Oakley, and actually it was Stephen Eze at the back who just eased off too much. The ball's been nicked across. Morton, who have not been in this, Queen's Park had total control of the game. Remember, they were leading by 2-0. It's 2-1 now, obviously. But I thought he had a real grip in this game. And Doug Emery on the far side, he's been going mental over there. His team, doing things quickly enough. They broke there. and they've got one back. Take the words out of my mouth, Kenny, why don't you? 2-1 it is.
Game
2-1
on
it is
there.
to Queen's Park.
Game on there,
Kenny.
George Oakland, 58 minutes. Yeah.
I tell you what, Rangers, I'm not saying they might not go on to grab another goal or two, however, they've been as bad in this first 50 minutes of this second half as they were good. Ryan Kent has given the ball away casually, I don't know how many times. Cantwell's been guilty of it, Raskin's been guilty of it. Kilmarnock have had good chances. Jordan Jones has been the best player on the pitch in the second half. And they're lucky they've not conceded a goal so far, Rangers. They've came out very, very slack. Oh, there is the goal. Kilmarnock have got one back. It's been coming. And Dorset is the man who gets it.
There's one coming here at Tynecastle as well, I tell you. St Johnstone have been very good. There's a shot from Halberg, just goes past the post. Similarly, Hearts have been very poor in the second half. The end of the first half, St Johnstone came more and more into the game. The second half started, and it's the Perth side who are on the front foot here. Hearts have turned the ball over two or three times in the last minute or so.
A penalty. Livingston fans are wanting a penalty. It's just a brilliant tackle from Hanlon and Devlin. 50-50 in the box. Two of them smash the ball at the same time. Hanlon, both of them go down. Hanlon does roll into the ball. It's not a penalty for me.
Just getting
the
a look
Livingston
at it
fans
now.
are incensed.
Big shot
What a tackle.
on the cards down in England. Arsenal 0, Bournemouth 2. Marcus Senesi with the goal on 57 minutes. Falkirk, Max Kucheravi has scored, put them 1-0 up at home to Peterhead. Is that a chance somewhere? Not heard about the action there
I
somewhere.
tell you, Kenny, that'll be a great game midweek. Dunfermline Falkirk.
Oh, yeah.
Tuesday night. That'll be some game.
That's a second goal at Cove, a second goal for Dundee. It's Lee Ashcroft. The ball was cut across the face of the goal. He met it 10 yards out. He just smashed it in the net to make it 2-0 to Dundee.
Alan, you were at that game before, weren't you? You covered it. There's a real bad feeling between these two clubs.
Yeah, there is. I was at the game at Falkirk and Dunfermline won 1-0. Played well on the day, but as the results sit today, if both teams win, you know, it's a massive game midweek. If Dunfermline can win it, they'll be hard to catch. They've only lost once or twice, I think, this season. So it'll be a big game for both clubs. And a big crowd, I would imagine, as well.
Yeah, a good game. That Lee Ashcroft there is Tyrone telling us with the second goal for Dundee on 59 minutes. Cove Rangers 0, Dundee 2. Dorset with that goal for Kilmarnock on 60 minutes.
Absolutely deserve it as well, Kenny.
Yeah.
I must say, if they got the penalty as well, you just never know. Rangers have been miles off it in this second half, but you've got to give credit to Kilmarnock. They've come out in the second half, thoroughly deserved that goal, and you know, I just hope for Derek McKenzie's point of view, they don't now sit back. I know it's only 3-1, but I think they've just got to keep doing what they were doing before.
What have they changed, Rory? Have they changed the shape? Has there been a tweak to the system, or is it just that one change in the personnel that's made the difference?
Well, they've gambled ever so slightly with Jordan Jones is now. Daniel Armstrong's went to right wing back. Now Jordan Jones has been given licence just to stay up the pitch, it seems, with Christian Doidge, and that combined with the fact that Rangers have been so slack in possession has meant that any time the ball's turned over, they're playing it into Jones's feet, and he's in acres of space because he's almost cheating. So Rangers are helping Kilmarnock in a way, but at the same time Kilmarnock, in fairness to McInnes, have taken a bit of a risk.
Leanne, is it not a case then a Rangers think, yep, job done, take the foot off the gas? And that's where the frustration comes in, because you look at a Celtic side, they're relentless. You know, they don't take the foot off the gas, and that's where there's that little bit of frustration that comes in with the support.
I was just about to speak about James Tavernier's body language before there was a chance elsewhere. Yep. So he's brought the ball forward from the full pack position after a little bit of pressure from Kilmarnock, and he's given it the old hands, you know, the calm down, let's settle down, and then played a little ball into midfield, you know, easy Ozzy, and that just vibrates throughout the full team.
Yes, Gavin.
Kyle Turner this time. Stephen Lawless picks the ball up halfway inside the Raith Rovers half. It was a lovely slip through. Raith Rovers defence at 6s and 7s, Kenny. Turner was screaming for it, and all he had to do was just lift it over the top of the running out Jamie McDonald. And wow, what a difference in this Partick Thistle team. 3 up now.
Absolutely fantastic. Cruising against Raith Rovers there. Chick brought us an update. We'll have one from Derek. Tyrone brought us the news of that second goal for Dundee away at Cove Rangers. What's happening in Dingwall, John Robertson?
Here's a chance for Cadden. He's right through the keeper to beat. He's getting into the box now. Johans, it's a goal! That's an own goal! He tries to square it. The hits on for Mionga. The keeper's wrong footed and it goes into the back of the net. Hibs are 3-1 up. Unbelievable stuff. What a breakaway it was. Try to square the ball, Cadden. You seen Johan at the back go looking for his hat-trick, tries to square it. Omiyonga sticks a leg out, it hits him and wrong face the keeper at the back of the net. 3-1.
That's an incredible course of events, Alan, because you're right, I was looking at Johan and I'm thinking, just square it, give him the tap in. We get a goal somewhere.
At Tynecastle. And it's Josh Ginnelly again.
Oh, lovely.
A really good, well-worked move from Hearts. Pearson ball on the edge of the box. I think it's Cochrane that slips it on the inside channel. And the ball gets played across the face of the goal. There was a couple of Hearts players that looked like they were going to be able to knock it into the back of the net. It ended up, it was Josh Ginnelly, middle of the goals, knocks into the back of the net and makes it 2-0.
It's incredible, Michael, isn't it? Because that's a player at one point that looked as if he had no future at the club, but he's really kicked on, hasn't he?
Oh, massive chance for Cali. It's a great diagonal ball into Duffy. He's just inside the box, takes it down brilliantly with the chest, and it just sits perfectly. I'm just waiting for the net to bulge, and he strikes it pretty well, but just puts it past that right hand post. Really should have scored. A great chance for Cali. Passed it up.
Great ball from Daniel Armstrong. Chris Doyle just stretching, full pelt. He's Armstrong's ball wipes Goldson out the game, and if Doyle is just maybe on his toes a little bit quicker, they might get something on the end of it. Kilmarnock really impressing me here in the second half.
So Partick are cruising against Wraith Rovers. Arsenal pulled a goal back against Bournemouth. Thomas Partey on 62 minutes. Arsenal 1, Bournemouth 2. Just confirmation coming through that Stefan Omiyonga own goal. Livingston 1, Hibs 3. And Michael telling us 2-0 for Hearts against St Johnstone. A double for Josh Ginnelly.
Devlin and Egan Riley there, a little set too. Not happy, neither player. Referee's going to book Devlin for that. It's been, Hibs have deserved this, Kenny, they have. They've been excellent, really good. It's been an important day for the club.
Yeah.
Obviously what's happened to their owner has been, and it's showed by the players. Every player is wearing number 68 on his shorts in Hibernian colours. You know, it's been a real moving week for them. The minute silence down at East Mains, the training ground, the other day, and at Easter Road. And I think there's a memorial service this week in Edinburgh as well for Ron Gordon. So this is a great win for them.
Yeah, a fantastic win. Stirling Albion, of course, now for a win coming from behind against Albion Rovers. Paul McLean on 68 minutes. Stirling Albion 3, Albion Rovers 2. Let's get back then to John Robertson in Dingwall. A huge game there, John. We thought the home side had a penalty. VAR intervened there, said nothing doing. What's happening now?
Yeah, well, you join us here. Ken Van Veen burst through. I don't think it's a yellow card from Don Robertson. Baldwin's brought him down, but Iacovetti was covering. There's not been a great... The first half was excellent, lots of chances either end, County having slightly better, but second half, apart from the penalty that was given by Don Robertson, then rescinded after a VAR check, neither keeper's been tested. It just looks like both teams are digging in there. They don't want to lose. We're just lacking that little bit of quality.
Yeah, a real lack of quality there, Tom, isn't there, in that game?
Yeah, there is. That's why I'm not going to say much about it. Hibs, you have to be taken with the Hibs story, not just because of the desperately sad death of Ron Gordon.
I'll say that there's a VAR check for red card now. I can't see it.
John,
I believe
it'll be an interesting one, because a lot of referees, I think, last night would probably have viewed it as a red card that Craig Napier gave. Now, it's probably quite a similar type incident, albeit slightly further to the left-hand side.
Yeah, but I don't see...
You could argue that there's a recovering defender, but yeah. I'm not entirely sure he would get there, if that makes sense. For me, a yellow card was the right decision.
Correct,
but
I'm the same. I think
just because he's further across the box, but as I say, last night people would have viewed it very differently.
He's going to go and check it again. Here we go. That doesn't sound good for County. But I'm like you, I'm thinking that Van Veen knocks it back. I still think the defender gets across and can get a block tackle in if he goes on to get in the boot. I mean, the foul happens 25 yards, 26 yards out the box at an angle. I still think he can get back, but you fear the worst when he's going to go and check it.
The centre-back pairing have got themselves in a pickle, because they're too close together when it happens. He is last man, though, I would need to say.
Oh!
The difference last night is that for me, O'Brien was deeper than Little.
Yeah.
When the foul happens, it's vice versa today. He's last man. So you could see...
Can you see that? Can you watch this, Leanne?
Whether they can get back.
No, I know.
Sorry, John. Leanne, can you watch this? Jago, lovely ball to Cadden. Does it hit the post? It's deflected for a corner, but does it actually hit the post?
Just getting a look at it now. No. I think it hits the stanchion
Here
behind.
he comes. Video VAR. He's reaching for his pocket. It's going to be a red card. No. There he goes. He's got his yellow card out. I'm assuming he's going to say that's not a yellow, it's going to be a red. Baldwin's already handing the captain's armband over. It's a red card in Dingwall. 10 men.
Huge blow for the home side there. Kelty Hearts 0, FC Edinburgh 2. Kyle Jacobs on 68 minutes. Dunfermline have doubled their advantage against Alloa on 68 minutes. Kevin O'Hara at the same time, also 68 minutes. Falkirk doubling their advantage. Allen gave the midweek game the big build-up. It's certainly on now. Falkirk 2, Peterhead 0. Cole Donaldson with a goal there. Kyle Hutton own goal in 69 minutes. He's 5-2, 4-for-1, and that's you right up to date with all the scores in Scottish football as things stand. So in the Premiership, Hearts 2, St Johnstone 0, a double from Josh Ginnelly. Livingston 1, Hibs 3. Livy were ahead through Joel Newbley. Ellie Uhan with a double on 28 and 37 minutes. Jack Fitzwater sent off for the home side, and then a Stephen Omionga own goal has Hibs in control there. Rangers were cruising at half-time, 3-0 thanks to Connor Goldson, Fashion Zakala and James Tavernier. Kilmarnock far better in the second half. Janelle Dorset with a goal back for them on 60. So Rangers 3, Kilmarnock 1, Ross County 0, Motherwell 0. But as John Robertson telling us there, Jack Baldwin
it's a
sent
goal.
off.
It's a goal, or is it yet? Well, they're surrounding the referee. Queen's Park have the ball in the net. It was big Stephen Eze, but I think it's been chalked off for a foul. They were celebrating Kilmarnock. The referee has pulled it back. There's been a push, I think, inside the box. It's chalked off. Still 2-1 Queen's Park against Morton.
So the score lines in the Premiership there for you. Let's dip into the Championship. Ayr United 1, Inverness, Cali, Thistle 1. The home side down to 10 men. Cove Rangers 0, Dundee 2, Lyle Cameron and Lee Ashcroft with the goals there. Partick Thistle 3, Wraith Rovers 0. What a result in store for Chris Doolan. Queen's Park 2, Morton 1. As Chick telling us there, Tommy Robson on 19. Oakley on 30, and then George Oakley for the away side on 58 minutes. In League 1 this afternoon, Dunfermline 2, Alloa 0, Falkirk 2, Peterhead 0, Kelty Hearts 1, FC Edinburgh 2, Montrose 2, Clyde 0, Queen of the South 3, Airdrie 2. In League 2, Annan 2, Stenhouse-Muir 2, East 5 2, Forfar Athletic 1, Elgin City 0, Bonnyrigg Rose 0, Stirling Albion 3, Albion Rovers 2, Stranraer 0. The leaders Dumbarton 1. And in England this afternoon, Arsenal looked to have equalised against Bournemouth, just waiting for confirmation that one coming through. There were 2 goals down. It looks now as if it's 2 apiece. Manchester City early winning 2-0 against Newcastle United. Aston Villa 1, 10-man Crystal Palace 0. Brighton 3, West Ham United 0. Chelsea 1, Leeds United 0. My goodness, how Graham Potter needs a result there. Wolves 0, Spurs 0. Southampton against Leicester is a 5:30 kick-off. We have a 6 o'clock kick-off on Sports Sound this afternoon. What a game we're looking forward to at Tannadice. Tom English, Dundee United with Jim Goodwin at the helm up against Aberdeen. Should be a cracker.
Yeah, demolition derby. Someone's going to come out of that feeling very bad about themselves. It is. It's a game only really Scottish football could conjure up. Really, circumstances around it are priceless. Just a note I was just mentioning earlier on about Hibs. You know, when you consider since they lost 3-0 to Hearts in the Cup, right, which was their last defeat, that was the last game Ryan Porteous played. Since before he moved to England. This big
I said that in the first half, Tom.
Yeah.
Have you not been in the studio?
No, well, I've been out in and out.
Working, don't worry.
So they've won. Well, I'm about to probably make all the points you've made. They've won. Well, if they win today, that's 4 out of 5. They'll have won since Porteous left. 13
I was talking
goals
about
for.
Fish replacing him.
Oh yeah,
that's
well,
right.
Fish has been brilliant.
Fish has been very good. But that's if they win today, that's 4 out of the last 5. They've won with a draw as well. 13 goals for, 2 against. This is with a team that had Porteous in it. They couldn't. Very hard to keep a clean sheet. They've really found something.
Alan doesn't see them catching Hearts in third.
No, I don't either.
No chance.
That's that's an Oberleis gone down. It's gone into a heavy challenge. with Riley, I think it is. It's Egan Riley's gone in. Oberlei's in a bit of pain. We've had a massive subs here. We've had a lot of subs, 5 in a row. And the good news, more good news for Hibs is that Nisbet's on and Kucheravi's on as well. He's been out for I think about 2 or 3 months, so he's on as well. But Oberlei looks to be in a bit of pain. His right foot.
Did he make
heavy
the challenge? Was it?
The two of them did it. They've gone
it's
in.
a goal at Tynecastle, and it's George Grant. It was a corner kick. The ball got played out to the edge of the box. It came back to Grant, and he was on the corner of the box. He looks to play it in behind the St Johnstone defence, and it drifts into the back post. 3-0 to Hearts.
Kevin Van Veen is nodded by the heads. A great move down the right-hand side. They slipped into the match says. So James Furlong slipped in there, dinked it back. Van Veen has got up 6 yards out. He's headed it down and into the net. Ross County 0, Motherwell 1.
My goodness, what a start for Stuart Ketchwell. Incredible, isn't it?
Isn't it just extraordinary?
Leanne, did you have a look at that challenge? Sorry, I think Oberlei's finished.
We're only seeing pictures of the referee just now, Alan. Hopefully we'll get another look at it as it comes through, but I've got my eye on it. That's a good goal from Van Veen. Too much time and space inside the box, right enough, John.
Yeah, it was brilliantly worked though. They worked it in.
Delivery,
I think it was Gossett made the run through to the byline. He's managed to just dink it. Done great.
Yeah,
is it Spittle?
Yeah,
he's dinked it up beautifully to allow Van Veen to get the run and jumped. And he's got above everybody to head it down.
Yeah, incredible. That would be 3 wins and a draw for Stuart Ketchwell today.
And to be honest, you know, is it too early to say Motherwell win this match? They're safe. I would probably say that they'll be safe.
They've got a goal. It's a goal, and we Robbo like this for Inverness Cali. A ball into the box, far post. Mackay, I thought Mackay was going to nod it in. Don't know if he ducked under it, but it goes to Henderson. He's at the back post, takes one touch, not the cleanest of hits, but it's into the back of the net. So Inverness Cali Thistle go 2-1 ahead.
Yeah, that'll delight Scott Gardner, the chief exec. We heard from him at the top of the programme about the challenges facing Scottish football clubs. They posted big losses, but he said, look, they have people there who will pay up, will back these losses. There's nothing to worry about for Inverness Cali Thistle fans. They are ahead. It's been a difficult season for them on the park, but ahead this afternoon. Forfeit equalised away at East Fife. Stephen McCluskey on 76 minutes. What's happening at Ibrox, Rory Lloyd?
In the last 5 minutes, Rangers have looked a lot more lively. Cantwell's pulled a lot of strings. I think that's down to Danny Armstrong's hobbled off. Fraser Murray's come on for him. They've lost a little bit of momentum down the right hand side since that's happened. Up until the 70th minute, Rangers were absolutely awful, as bad as I've seen them. There was booing. Players were giving the ball away for fun. Not so good, but the last 5 minutes momentum swung again a little bit. Kilmarnock have made a couple of substitutions actually. David Watson, who just turned 18 last month, has come on for Alan Power in the middle of the pitch, so it'll be interesting to see how he does. But as it stands at the moment, it's Rangers 3, Kilmarnock 1.
Alan, I've just had a look at that challenge from Egan Riley. I think yellow is suffice. He's out of control on Oberlei. Probably class it more as reckless, but he does catch him the top of his foot, which I think when the referees look at that, yellow is often seen as enough.
Yeah, but Oberlei's is coming off.
He looks done, yeah.
He's done. He's having treatment for 2 or 3 minutes now, and he's just slowly but surely limping off.
Yeah, it's the end of his afternoon at Oberlei's. A real rock at the heart of that Livingston defence, but he's been able to stop Hibs taking the lead. 3-1 there ahead against Livingston, despite falling behind to a Joel Newbley goal on 9 minutes. So let's step back into the Championship then. Chick Young is watching the leaders in action this afternoon. Chick?
Still, they are the leaders, and at the moment, the Queen's Park are 10 points ahead of Morton, who I thought might get into the pack this afternoon, but it's been dramatic. They were so much better in the first half than Morton. 2-0, remember, at half-time, Kenny, but Oakley with a tap in, they brought Morton back into it, and they've got a new resilience and strength about them, and Queen's Park looked a little bit rocky, which they never did in the first half. It's an interesting championship. It has been all the way through the line, and you look at that table, Kenny, at the moment, really interesting. Queen's Park 50 points, Dundee of course 4 points behind them, and as we stand, Thistle have got themselves into the dogfight. So Morton in 5th place at the moment, 10 points behind, but in really terms of getting a playoff place, which I think is a target now, they're right in the mix. Another goal would help them. 2 goals would be fantastic, but they're running out of time, I think. 2-1 to Queen's Park, and they're beginning to get a wee bit of a grip in it again.
Yeah, Chick mentioned Partick Thistle there, absolutely cruising this afternoon, Gavin Wallace.
Oh, absolutely, Kenny. 3-0 up. They could be 4 or 5, to be honest. Raith Rovers really haven't contributed much to this game whatsoever, but Chris Doolan really, although you can maybe argue maybe they didn't need a massive revival, but he's made some tweaks, and they just, excuse me, look like a team with a plan. They look like they know what they have to do. He said that before the game, that it was really just telling the players that they need to know exactly what they're doing, and that's exactly what is happening here. They are, as you say, cruising right now, and those promotion doors wide open. 3-0 Thistle.
Cove Rangers behind, 2-0 down to Dundee. Tyrone Smith there for us, just looking at the bottom of the table. Tyrone, Cove 26, Hamilton Accies 25, Arbroath 24. A real struggle for Paul Hartley right now.
Yeah, Cove look to be in all sorts of bother at the moment down at the bottom of the table. They're a team, you look through the squad, they've got some real experience in the squad, and they're a team that you keep expecting them to start kicking to life and get a wee run of results together, but it's just not happening at all. I mean, they've brought in a host of players. I mean, there's been a huge turnaround of players since the January transfer window. 10 players have left, 10 players have come in. Paul Hartley is trying everything to try and get a tune out of this team at the moment. So far it's proven unsuccessful, today being a case in point, with Dundee looking very comfortable indeed. In fact, Alex Kubiak just bursting in goal there. In terms of the game itself, still 2-0 to Dundee. Cove huffing and puffing without really creating any chances of note. With 12 minutes left here at the Balmoral Stadium, it's still 2-0 to Dundee.
League 2 leaders Dumbarton have doubled their advantage away at Stranraer. Gregor Buchanan on 76 minutes. Falkirk 3-0 up now on Peterhead. Craig McGuffey with a goal there on 79 minutes. How have Hearts played this afternoon, Michael? Well worthy of their lead there against St Johnstone?
Well, I mean, look, it's easy to say it, and goals change games, but St Johnstone on the whole have been not bad. I think 3-0 is probably a little bit harsh on them, but Hearts have been ruthless and they've scored at good times. You know, I thought Hearts started the game brightly, deserved to get their noses in front. The latter part of the first half, St Johnstone really started to come into the game, and they were very good at the start of the second, but then Hearts just killed the game at 2-0. Now they've got the third. It looks very comfortable for them. Big result, because, you know, we've already spoken about after the Motherwell performance, they needed to react, and they have, and they've done that, you know, whenever they've had to this season, and that's why, you know, you're talking about Hearts or Hibs. Hibs are doing very well at the moment. You've got to give them a lot of credit, but for me, Hearts are well in front, and I'd be very surprised if they were able to get drawn back into a challenge with Hibs, and this is a big result for them here today.
Really good save by Sam Walker
another
there.
Injury.
Really good save by Sam Walker. The ball comes in from the left-hand side, and Cholak, 5-6 yards from goal, for me has to score. Give Sam Walker all the credit in the world, but he has to score for me as Morelos comes on for Sakala, so we might see Cholak and Alfredo Morelos up front together. And Lundstrom come on about 10 minutes ago for Raskin. Kelly making a couple of substitutions as well. Sanders and Olsen will be coming on.
Alan, time's that kick-off at Tannadice. We've got another injury. Omionga's down this time, honestly. You've used everything they've got, so they need to get him on. He's been down for about 2 or 3 minutes now. On top of the Obalai one was down for 3 minutes. So we're going to have a long time. Hopefully Omionga. It was just a clash of knees with Nisbet and Omionga. Nisbet was booked for it. Livingston fans wanted red, but it was a yellow. Just a clash of knees, but Omionga is going to struggle to continue. Still 3-1 to Hibs.
Yeah, a great performance from Hibs today, Alan, on the back of that news this week that Aidan McGeady's season is over. I know he's been in and out of that side, but when we've seen him play, he still looked a really class player.
I honestly think he's the catalyst with all this good performances at the moment. He's given confidence to the team. There's no doubt in Aidan McGeady's ability. Magnificent ability Aidan McGeady's got, and I sincerely hope, I know there's people saying that could be him retiring. Hopefully not, because he's a joy to watch when he's on his game, and he's been great for Hibs in that short period. He's been able to get himself fit and been able to play.
Can only take so many injuries, but biscuits, can't you?
I get that.
Yeah, and even you wonder what his mindset is. It must be an absolute sickener for him.
Well, he'll be 37
I think
next month. 37 next month.
I think it was his
lot of
first
injuries.
hamstring, Tom. He's ever had first serious hamstring injury, he said, in his career, which for a winger who's really sharp, I find strange, you know.
But sometimes when you've got, like,
what a player,
you've got a certain injury, you know, it puts pressure on other areas of your body. Biscuits, I think that's what's happened. Bill Mackay just going close there.
He's welcome to come in if he fancies into the studio, Kenny, isn't it?
Isn't he? He's
very good pundit.
Yeah,
he doesn't shirk anything.
No, chicks away doing TV duties at the moment. I can tell you, Morton have equalised after being 2-0 down away to leaders Queen's Park. George Oakley with a double there. His second coming on 81 minutes. Queen's Park 2, Morton 2. Chick will be back with us shortly. That's a big goal in the championship this afternoon. So Queen's Park
Kenny,
2 points ahead of Dundee.
Sat down. Omeonga sat down, I'm afraid. So Livingston are going to be down to 9 men. He's not going to be able to continue. He's just sat down in the centre circle. The physios are back on again.
Shaking
and we'll
his
see
head
how
there.
it goes. But it's not going to be. He's not going to be able to run about. The looks of things.
Yeah, miserable day for Stephen Omeonga and his side. He scored the own goal that gave Hibs a 3-1 advantage there. They really are struggling. Falkirk cruising. Craig McGuffey with his second of the game. He has Falkirk 4-0 up against Peterhead there. There's hot in the tails off Dunfermline at the top of the table, Leanne. It's all going to a wee bit quiet. What you made of VAR this afternoon has played its part, but the correct decisions for you?
Well, I think the county one again will be one that people will debate and look at tonight, so certainly worth tuning into Sports Scene to see that, the red card. Whether it's last man, a recovering defender, I think you can debate it. I think the touch from Kevin Van Veen, the ball's getting away from him as well. Whether he would have got on the end of it or not, I'm not entirely sure. When I seen it in real time, I thought yellow was probably the correct decision. When I looked at it and you look at the stills, I think you can probably take another couple of things from it, so it's probably there for debate. Other than that, we've not had too much really. It hasn't been too bad. I was just looking at Davy Martindale there speaking to the fourth official, and I thought he's probably trying to convince him that one of those changes that he made earlier on was a concussion sub, so that he could try and get an extra body onto the pitch, because it's a sore one for Livingston to be down to 9 men. A poor afternoon for them. The fact that they took the lead in this game, I know Alan's described the performance of Hibs and how well they've managed to do, but to take the lead at home and then run out 3-1 losers is a sore one.
Albion Rovers down to 10 men in their game. They're also a goal down against Stirling Albion. The player sent off there, Blair Malcolm, on 85 minutes. You're back with us, Chick. A big equaliser there.
Yeah, I know, Kenny, you're keeping our blessed listeners informed of the goal equaliser here while I was in television duties. It's incredible. I mean, Queen's Park had such a grip in this game at half-time. They made a couple of substitutions. I think Owen Coyle thought the job was done, but Morton have got themselves right back into a double from Oakley. The first after 58 minutes, and the big man, George Oakley, scored another one after 81 minutes. And what a climax of this football match. Morton are wound up now. They were sleepy at the start, or certainly the end of the first half, but they've come awake now, and Dunn and Alan McGraw proud in this rally, and they're coming forward again. It looks offside. They're getting in the box. Yeah, linesman just in front of me gets the flag up again. It was Oakley yet again, and you just feel there could be further drama in this game. What a football match.
He's been a brilliant addition, Oakley, hasn't he, to Morton? The goals that he scored, I think was it 4 last month he grabbed, and that's 2 again today. He's been a big player for them.
Yeah, he's a big physical specimen, you know, and you need that against Queen's Park, where they've got Stephen Asay up at the back as well, and he's really tormented them. And you know, they've got that kind of strength up front to Morton with Robbie Muirhead alongside him. This game has gone from end to end, and I'm telling you, and I know you're in this gang as well, yeah, and the championship is, what a save by the goalkeeper there. That's another strike, and it's Brian Schwick who gets down to save that one. I know you're the fan club of the championship, Eliane.
Yeah.
Some tremendous games of this. 2 each of the moment is good. That anything could happen, feel about it.
It has, and I know a lot of people look at it, you know, I heard a few folk doubting the quality of it as well, and I think when you look at the games, there's not often an awful lot between the sides. I think anybody on their day can go and get a result. I think when you look at that today, the character that teams show, like Morton, to get back into games, it's never done until it's done. It's just unfortunate the last 2 televised games that we've had have been 0-0 draws, because I don't think that paints it in its best glory, because the games that I've watched this season have been far more entertaining than that.
Yeah, look at the top 5. Queen's Park top 48 points, and D 46, Partick Thistle 43.
Is up. Ryan Jack scores. My initial instinct was it was offside. Cholak gets a whole
chance for Van Veen. 2-0. Wow. They've got Ross County on the break initially. Van Veen, he squared it, went all the way over to Cornelius, He cut it back. It was Max Johnston who had 2 efforts at goal. The second one was when it bounced to Van Veen. He smashed it home from 4 yards. Game over. It's Ross County 0, Motherwell 2.
Ryan Jack was offside there, Rory.
Yeah, I thought so, to be fair. Rangers have been much better in the last 20 minutes, but what about the 2 BBC Sports Sound pundits? They're absolutely flying, aren't they?
They are. I mean, it's an incredible story. Motherwell now 30 points. That's 6 points clear of Ross County, 6 points clear of Kilmarnock. As things stand, 10 points clear of Dundee United, but United do have 2 games in hand on those above them. I'm just going through the championship table. Top 5, Queen's Park 48, Dundee 46, Partick Thistle 43, Morton 41, Ayr United 40. Morton and Ayr United have a game in hand on those above them.
I mean, you know, in praise of Kevin Van Veen here, you know, I think that's 5 in these last 6. 15 goals in 33 games this season for a team that's struggling. It's an astonishing return.
Really good.
Michael Higdon-esque. If you remember Michael Higdon, former player of the year.
Yeah, that's right.
That's a hell of a return.
There's no doubt that the red card has changed the game today, though, John, because when you look at the 2 goals that Van Veen has scored in the area of the pitch that Ross County have lost that defender from, and Baldwin,
Yeah,
he's gone off. And
they've lost Baldwin, but they brought on Watson, who's their captain.
But I just think when you look at even trying to get up to the speed of play with Van Veen, when you came on and look to try and change the...
Van Veen, to be fair, he hadn't had a kick all day.
But what he does when you give him time and space is put the ball in the back of the net. And the header for the first goal he does really well.
Yeah, he's been clinical, and that's it. That's the thing today, is that County have had just as many chances and just as many clear-cut chances, but I'm just saying, Kevin Van Veen he stays there. His position for the first one was great because he knew the only cross Whittle could do was just dink it. He could only just dink it because all the Ross County defenders have been dragged to the near post.
Just good old-fashioned striker play, Johnny. You'll know that. He's in the right area. He's in between the sticks. He keeps himself alive. He's always kind of, I wouldn't even say he was on his toes. He's just constantly following the movement of the ball so that if it arrives, he's ready and he puts it away. And what a huge advantage it's given Motherwell today.
Due to VAR, we must have... Oh, it's a record for me anyway. 9 minutes of added time. 9 minutes.
Wolves 1, Spurs 0. Adama Traore on 82 minutes. Bonnyrigg Rose has scored late on 89 minutes. Kerr Young away at Elgin City. East Fife could have grabbed themselves a win at Alan Troughton on 89. 3-2 up against Forfar Athletic. And that Brighton 4-0 now up against West Ham. Danny Welbeck on 89 minutes.
St Johnstone almost getting themselves a goal. It was poor play from Kai Rose. He played it back to Xander Clark, but it was too close to the attacker. I think it was Zach Rudden. He got round the keeper and he was playing it on target, and Stephen Kingsley got back on the goal line. They were claiming it was a handball. He said it came off his shoulder or his chest and it went behind for a corner, and it looks as if, well, the referee's got his finger at his ear, so he's obviously getting told something, but it did look as if it came off high enough up his arm or on his chest that it would just be a corner kick.
John Footer's just come on for Rangers. Sorry, Leanne. Just wanted to mention that. He's just come on. Nice touch from Derek McInnes, giving him a handshake. He came on for Ben Davies, who got the sponsors man of the match, which surprised me. I thought Todd Cantwell's been Rangers' best player today, but John Footer making his return. He's on the pitch.
Great to see that.
Yeah, absolutely.
We've had a penalty miss here as well, Kenny. While I was away doing TV, Raith Rovers had a penalty inside the box. I'm not entirely sure exactly what happened as I was dialing into the TV or going over there, but Lewis Vaughan stood up to take the penalty, and David Mitchell in goal got down really well to his right hand side. The follow-up was then put behind for a goal kick as well. So Partick Thistle still up 3-0, and Raith Rovers have missed a penalty.
Yeah, very interesting to see what John Souttar can do now. I mean, the key thing is to stay injury-free and then really kick on to
totally. Like we talked about the Rangers rebuild and all the rest of it. A fit John Souttar plays every week for Rangers.
Yeah.
You know, we've seen him play international football, play really well. We've seen him score for Scotland. He's had one game for Rangers this season. You know, he's been absolutely jinxed with injuries over the course of his career. That's one of the big hopes I have, that he this is a guy who deserves a clear run of injuries now, because I think he's a very, very good footballer.
We have got 8 added on minutes at Livingston.
Full time at Firhill, 3-0 Partick Thistle against Raith Rovers.
Thanks, Gavin. Other full-time scorelines coming in: Queen of the South 3, Airdrie 2, Kelty Hearts 1, FC Edinburgh 2, Stennismuir 3, 2 up away to Annan Athletic. Late on, Ross Ford with a goal there on 91 minutes. So as things stand in that Scottish Championship table, that win for Partick Thistle this afternoon has them up to third. As things stand, Queen's Park's lead over Dundee cut to just 2 points.
And that, Kenny, is what happens because the full-time whistle has just gone here at Ochilview. It's been your classic game of two halves. Queen's Park 2-0 ahead at half-time. The two full-backs, Robson and Oakley, they scored the goals that put them in so much of a grip in the game. But Morton, with their Oakley, in this case George Oakley, scored twice in the second half. They secure a point, which drags them back into that battle at the top of the table. Incredible performance by Queen's Park in the first half. Incredible performance by Morton in the second half. The drama in this old championship race just doesn't stop. Finished here at Ochilview. Queen's Park 2, Morton 2.
That's full-time at Ibrox as well. A very, very underwhelming second half from Rangers. A lot of players going through the motions, but excellent first half, and they win. Rangers 3, Kilmarnock 1.
Thanks to Rory there. Falkirk with a 5th at home to Peterhead. Craig McGuffey in the 93rd minute there. So just a few games got a bit of time to run, as the guys are saying, because of the extra time for injuries and for VAR interventions. A full-time scoreline from the English Premier League: Brighton 4, West Ham United 0. Real problems for Davy Moyes.
I fear for Davy Moyes. That's a shocker. That's got the look of a result that could cost him his job. You know, there's been so much speculation around him. 4-0 against Brighton are a good side.
Full-time, Rangers 0, Dundee 2.
It's all over here as well, Kenny. Somerset, and it's a much needed win for Billy Dodd's side, considering all that's been going on during the week. So he'll be a happy chap going up to Inverness tonight. Ayr United 1, Inverness Cali Thistle 2.
Yeah, it's a full-time scoreline there. Cove Rangers 0, Dundee 2. Full-time scoreline, as are the other two games. They're now finished. Partick Thistle 3, Raith Rovers 0, Queen's Park 2, Morton 2. Just looking to see if any late goals going in. Elgin City 0, Bonnyrigg Rose 1. Full-time. Falkirk 5, Peterhead 0, Cove Rangers 0, Dundee 2. As we heard there, East 5 3, Forfar 2, Dunfermline 2, Alloa 0, Elgin City 0, Bonnyrigg Rose 1, Montrose 2, Clyde 0. That's the full-time scoreline starting to come in across the country this afternoon. Still a couple of games going there in the top flight. Anything at all from Ross County, John? Are they just, since they went that man down and the 2 goals down, have you seen very little from them?
No, they've tried to get forward. Alex Samuel had a shot straight at the keeper. He's come on. They've thrown 3 men up front. They've just basically gone 3-3-3. Motherwell have caught them on the break. Van Veen a couple of times, just couldn't quite get the ball. Once to Spittle, another time to Cornelius. Motherwell quite content there. They brought on O'Donnell and Lammy just to shore up the back to make sure that they're not going to lose a goal. And they're freewheeling really towards the 3 points.
It's a full time here at Tynecastle. Ends up 3-0 to Hearts against St Johnstone.
Yeah, a comfortable win there for Robbie Nielsen's side. A double from Josh Ginnelly, 21 and 63 minutes. George Grant adding the third on 73 minutes. There's still 2 games going in the top flight this afternoon. Livingston against Hibs, Ross County against Motherwell. No other full-time scorelines coming through so far down the leagues in Scotland this afternoon. I'll give you the full-times from League 1. Dunfermline 2, Alloa 0, Falkirk 5, Peterhead 0, Kelty Hearts 1, FC Edinburgh 2, Montrose 2, Clyde 0, Queen of the South 3, Airdrie 2, and the full-time scorelines from League 2: Annan Athletic 2, Stennismuir 3, East 5 3, Forfar 2, Elgin City 0, Bonnyrigg Rose 1, Stirling Albion 3, Albion Rovers 2, and Stranraer 0, Dumbarton 2. It's been an incredible afternoon again, Tom. You know, you just look at some of these score lines. Rangers, it could have been any score in that first half against Kilmarnock. Rory saying the wayside much improved in the second half. Hearts comfortable against St Johnstone, 3 goals to nil, although Michael said Saints actually played well in periods of that game. Hibs went behind, but they've started to show real character now, some momentum there, cruising now against Livingston and Motherwell. What a turnaround of fortunes for them under Stuart Kettlewell.
Yeah, and you could argue that Motherwell victory was the victory of the day, given the circumstances they're in. Given now there's a gap between them and the rest, it could be a very significant day for Motherwell. When you've got a guy like Van Veen, to go back to him, when you've got a goal scorer in your ranks that produces with such consistency that he does, when you're down towards the end of the league, you've always got a real chance.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you've always.
Really good. Yeah.
Is that a sign with Kettlewell going back to a club that he managed? Is that a sign for the 6 o'clock?
I was going to go back to my newspaper days. I was going to say kettle coming to the boil.
Well,
very
not bad.
good, Tom.
What you think?
Chick, we're proud of
Not
you.
bad.
Not bad. Yeah, that's a kind of chick. That's a chick one.
Made a living of that.
I'm engaging with my inner chick with that one.
Yeah.
Big win from Motherwell. Big win for Hibs. You know,
here's a big goal, Tom, coming through from England. Arsenal were 2-0 down to Bournemouth. Now, I'm always reluctant with England with VAR, but it's saying Reiss Nelson in the 97th minute, Alan, putting them 3-2 ahead
97 minutes, 3-2 up Arsenal.
Wow.
What a side that is.
What a comeback that
2-0
is.
down, 3-2. Brilliant.
Yeah, I mean, that's
magnificent.
just real character.
Full-time Dingwall, 2-0 Motherwell.
Yeah, fantastic job from Stuart Kettlewell.
Chance for Nisbet. Oh, what a save. Kucheravi, goal! Offside flag's gone up. Not going to count. Yeah, the flag's gone up straight away. It'll be checked, as always.
Good save
Nisbet.
initially from Nisbet, though.
Great save. Yeah, it drops out the sky, gets a good contact on a good save. The big fellow then knocks into the back of the net, but the flag went instantly up. We'll wait to see this checked. But Hibs have been great. Really, really impressive this afternoon. Very good performance. And as Tom and myself have touched on, I think Will Fish has played a big part in this Hibs resurgence, I would say. He's given stability in the centre of defence for such a young guy as well. And they've managed to bring on a couple of young boys as well. Well, one anyway. Oscar McIntyre's come on for Hibs, which is great to see some of the younger boys getting a game. Campbell's been excellent. They're getting minutes in Kucheravi's legs and Nisbet's legs as well. You know, it's been a really, really good performance from Hibs, and Lee Johnson will be absolutely delighted.
It only seemed like 5 minutes ago that Lee Johnson was the crisis manager.
Mm-hmm.
Got up against Jim Goodwin, the crisis manager, the 6-0 day.
But there were rumours going round. It was one game away, one more defeat, and he was gone. Lee Johnson. We heard these rumours. They were circulating for weeks and weeks and weeks, and he was always quite bullish. I think it's fair to say. He came out with some interesting comments. He felt it was coming. It was coming. How many times we heard that from him? But the run they've been on is absolutely fantastic.
It's excellent. Scoring goals, not conceding many. I think the form has kind of dropped out of the sky, really.
Livy goalie's down injured now, Tom. I'm sorry, but George has gone down injured. We're still waiting on this decision if it's a goal or not a goal. VAR's looking at it. The referee's got his finger to his ear, obviously talking to him. But the Livingston goalkeeper now is sat down. He's injured as well. And Arsenal have won 3-2.
Yeah, just confirmed, Alan. My goodness, that's a great title race down there. Aston Villa beating. I'll just go through the full-time scorelines from England. So lunchtime kick-off: Man City 2, Newcastle 0, Arsenal 3, Bournemouth 2. They were 2-0 down. The winner coming in the 97th minute. Aston Villa 1, Crystal Palace 0, Brighton 4, West Ham United 0, Chelsea 1. My goodness, this win was needed. Leeds United 0, Wolves 1.
The referee's going to have a look at this goal. The goal's been given. It's 4-1.
Right, we'll have a look at that.
Kucheravi with the goal. The flag went up instantly. The referee and VAR have had a look at it, and they've given the goal 4-1 to Hibs.
His initial ball went over the top, Alan, for Nisbet. For me, Kucheravic was offside. Then obviously Nisbet goes on, he's not interfering with play. Nisbet has a shot, it saves and it comes back and he puts the ball in. So I think the goal should stand.
David Martindale's just been sent off.
Yeah,
Davy's been sent off as well.
Pictures of him a minute ago and he certainly didn't look too pleased.
What's the point of him getting sent off? He's 3-1 down. Is it seconds to go? Okay, 3-1, 4-1.
They say that he's a passionate man. It's an emotional sport.
It is, yeah.
As long as they don't capture him like Rick Campbell got caught last night.
He's just damaged his own team by doing that, you know.
there could very well be a video of Davy Martindale going about, Alan.
The referee's still... Oh, here we go.
What's going on, Alan? This seems to still be a bit of confusion about it.
Do you know what? Some of the delays today...
That's 4-1.
Some of the delays today actually have been pretty
Ridiculous.
long there, haven't they? Yeah, you know, for...
What was it, 9 minutes in Dingwall?
Yeah, I mean, that's a long time.
I'm unsure where that time even came from in that game.
No, it's a strange one.
There wasn't too much, I don't think.
It actually didn't. How long did it take for when we thought Ross County had a penalty? But that was a correct decision then, wasn't it? There was an initial foul in the lead up to
I think there was probably a couple of minutes with that at best. But no, 9 minutes, 8 minutes, that's probably not good enough.
Right, OK, we said VAR would play a part this afternoon, and it has done. That's the 3 o'clock kickoffs done and dusted. We'll get all the reaction for you on Sportsound, and don't forget, a huge game at Tannadice this evening. Jim Goodwin in charge of Dundee United against his former club Aberdeen. Kick-off there at 6 o'clock. All the build-up to come on that one. Time now, though, for the BBC Radio Scotland News at 5 o'clock with Pamela Havron.
On digital radio.
FM.